I know, but what you're seeing is like a little bit behind.
But
so
if you know anyone that wants an
I've
autograph,
changed
I
it,
can just
but
refer them
it'll
to
take
Tanya.
a second before you can hear.
Okay.
Can you hear now? Can you hear now?
My bank account does not reflect.
It's on full right now.
I was just talking about the time delay. I changed it, but
I understand. Right, I'm hearing something.
Yeah.
Tanya's thing's on.
Yeah.
what you're seeing is like a few.
Now.
Is a little bit behind. So I've changed it, but it'll take a second.
There we go.
That's me explaining 3 minutes ago what happened. We're good. We can.
Yeah,
all,
we
the
can.
people can hear us.
The people can hear.
Oh, look,
All
you guys
right.
have like voice to text thing. The thing.
Yeah.
Look at y'all.
We
It does, but not correctly.
not accurately.
I really want to see it.
Like if I say, we all on the ground. look, look what it says in 3 minutes.
It's a little delayed. Hold on.
It's okay. We holding it down.
Something about we all grown.
Yep.
We are only grown. Look at it as and then it gave up. It gave up. It's not long. It's not quite. Not quite. Okay. We're holding it down. It got that. It got that one correct.
I like it.
Not spelled.
Oh, I have my.
So all that extra stuff I did before, where I was explaining what was going on, was for naught.
Okay.
Well, everybody, hi. Welcome to this week's episode of the Black Multiverse Theory Podcast. Today on studio, we have our Melanistic Adventures crew.
Me.
It will take a second before I switch back. I'm not so fast on that yet.
Oh. Me.
So I'm like, oh, he wants me to do the thing. Okay. So I will. You guys are on screen, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce everybody again. That's Greg back there in the back. Say hey, Greg.
Hey, what's up, people?
Hey, Isha. Isha. There's Janelle there.
Janelle.
And there is Tanya.
Tanya.
And here we are. Again. So are we gonna do the Melanistic Adventure portion where in the recap?
Well, no. Well,
on
no.
the scroll?
No, we're gonna do it during the scroll.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do a recap.
Recap.
Of this week.
What happened this week? We'll talk about what happened this week.
Yes, we're late on something because sorry, that's the scroll. I have everything in my mind for the scroll. How
Okay.
was your last week?
Last week we did not podcast because we had power issues. And so because we had power issues, we weren't able to power the main brain
Yes.
of the podcast, which is the computer. So we fixed those issues, got that taken care of, and we're back here this week.
Mm-hmm.
This is our new time and our new day.
Mm-hmm.
It is Tuesday. So when we first started this 1 whole year ago, it was on Tuesdays at 7, and we went right back. Some people are asking, why did we go back? We went back because
It's better over here.
it
on
works
Tuesdays.
better on Tuesdays. It does.
Everything is better on Tuesdays.
You mean there was nothing scientific about it?
Nothing.
the math?
scientific.
The math.
The math. It was 42
Yes.
that's what we got.
And that means Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
Okay. So what else? How was your last week?
Last week was challenging. My friends over at the JANA, the Jamaican Association of Northern Alberta, have a brand new property, which is new to them. And I've had challenges over there trying to deal with stuff, construction over there. But I took a day off, and that was the best part of last week because I went to the beach with the children. And when I went out there, it was great. It's Pigeon Lake, which, by the way, you're not allowed to go to Pigeon Lake anymore because they found green algae in there.
And gray water.
And gray water.
Some nasty stuff out
Oh,
there.
wow.
Flowing into the water. It's,
Gray water, too.
Yeah. Gray matter. Yeah.
Gray matter. That means somebody's been pooping in there.
Yeah.
Well, that means that it empties out in there.
Empties out of there, yeah.
All the, okay, so
what happens
There's a
is that
microphone.
all of the right. Because I'm just gonna scream at you guys. So what happens is that all the old houses, they're
Right.
building all these new houses, but the plumbing line, as you would know, the plumbing line is not upgraded, and so it's overflowing, and everybody's, gray matter.
Gray matter. Gray matter for a
It's
lot of people.
overflowing into the water.
There is brown matter, which is normally poop. For those, as a plumber, I'll just explain this quickly. Gray matter is normally anything other than that. So shower water, dishes, that's your gray matter. That's your
Okay.
gray water.
Well.
So like at Cara West, we have the porta potties for the brown matter.
Yeah.
But for the kitchen stuff, that's all gray matter. So you need grease traps, you need stuff like that. So that's going in there. They found a little bit of green algae as well in there.
It's an algae bloom.
But that's every year, all the time. Our lakes, every lake in Alberta.
As long as it gets sunny and hot.
Apparently, it's
what
supposed to be
happened.
dangerous.
It is not.
It is
It'll
very-
make your skin nasty and just rash.
It'll make your skin rash.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. Like, yeah, I went
Vaseline
into the
first.
water on a rubber dinghy
Yeah.
that we bought. I think we bought it or it was given to us at Walmart, and then it came with a plastic pump. I think it was made either in China or Istanbul, one of the two places,
Symbol, huh?
one of the two.
Okay.
And so what I was
Very specific.
very specific. That's to tell you I'm not being that stereotypical person that says things are cheap, but it is actually one of the two. And while we're pumping it, if too much pressure was on it, it would just blow apart. Like the pump would go. Poof.
Oh.
So I ended up just using my mouth and just blowing it.
Right.
And while everybody's
We
trying
saw
to
these
pump
people.
theirs, I was just blowing it up
You
We
said
saw
a
these
dinghy
people.
though, right? Like
A whole dinghy.
Like a boat.
like a boat.
wait, how light-headed were you?
In the
After
hot
blowing
sun.
up
Yeah.
3,
In the hot sun.
after blowing up 3. So what we did first is we went to Walmart. We got an $89 gazebo shade tent,
Okay.
10 by 10. Then we put there for social distancing so that we could be inside there. Then I blew up all 3 of them, or 2 out of 3, and then I put them in there. And then I jumped on one of those and I just floated.
Yeah.
So it was great. And we went out there. We had fun. Then we came back. People were smoking on the beach, which is fine. Apparently, it's no bylaw against
Totally
cigarette smoke.
allowed.
It's
or
legal.
It's legal.
This
Like,
was
you can
cigarette
go.
smoke as well.
You can smoke on the beach. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know that you can't smoke in a restaurant. You can't smoke in the city limits, but on a beach, you can. Children there, you can. There's my children there, and the guy smoking was like right in their face every time they move by.
It's like walking down a sidewalk, really, is what the beach is like.
And my niece got very upset. She called bylaw, and she's like, "I want to know what the rules are." They're like, "Ma'am, there are no rules."
There's
They're
no
like,
rules.
She's like,
That's
These
funny
are the
that they would
rules.
have rules about. They wouldn't have rules about that, but they have rules about the dogs. There's a
they sure do. There's no animals allowed on that beach.
On the beach.
On the beach.
Unless
Trust
it's
me, we
after
had a
7
whole
o'clock.
On the beach.
day
On
on
the
the
beach.
beach with several dogs.
There were
last
several
week.
dogs
I
there.
had 4
They started
Dogs.
ticketing last week.
probably after
For your
us.
dog?
So,
Yeah,
so
You
what's
just put
the,
the ticket on the dog,
so what's the problem with the
like
dog?
on the leash. Just
So what's the problem with having a dog on the beach?
Because dogs poop.
People
and-
gray matter.
It's,
Gray matter.
no, but that really
I think
is
that's brown
what
matter.
the
Brown-
beef is with dogs.
Depends on what
That
they're doing.
by
And
the
they
end
get
of the
into
day-
people's stuff and they run up on
Yeah.
people. There were these
So
2
do kids.
also children do that.
And children release yellow matter in the,
The
water.
fear of dogs, I think, is. I feel that the fear of dogs on a whole is more prevalent than the fear of children.
Or the smokers. Like I feel like it's a dog. It's outdoors. It's
Considering
nature.
how nasty
I
that
don't have a
water
problem
is.
with dogs, but all 4 of my children are afraid of
See?
dogs.
I have a funny story about that.
There
but
is no story. There is no story. One day they saw a dog and they all took flight, left their bike. We're all riding bikes. We went around our corner and there was a dog there and it went woof, and all of them left their bikes and ran. I've never seen them run so fast. I was like, wow. I was like, wait, your bikes, wait.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're afraid of every dog. They're afraid of Sunset. They're afraid of every dog.
And
They've only met
Sunday
him
I
once.
managed
Get
to
them out of the way.
contribute to that tally for at least for sure one extra kid who is now scarred for his entire lifetime because
Tanya
my dog.
boards dogs, so
I do.
she's very dog friendly and brings dogs
And
all kinds of places.
one of my dogs that I took out thought that this kid was playing and took Chase to say hi.
Can you tell me the breed of said dog?
So said dog is a 90-pound pit bull.
Wow.
He's absolutely friendly.
Tanya's
Wow.
like, we're going to a soccer game, everybody.
He's an absolute darling. He's actually worked as a therapy dog for seniors.
Fantastic.
He's very nice.
And what
Therapy dog.
happened was this kid sees him, and now I'm realizing out of fear what he did was he creeped up to him and then ran back. He did it the first time, and he creeped up again and ran back. Now when we do that at my house, we're about to play hide and seek.
Wow.
And he chases to find the kids because that's the game. I peep from behind a wall and you come find me. So
Yeah.
he did it the third time and my buddy sat up like, oh, we're about to play this game. And as soon as I reach, because he's sitting this time with his leash just gently resting on my friend's lap because
you-
nothing's happening. And as soon as I did this, the kid did it the fourth time, and he's like, the game is on. So there's this kid screaming
Yeah.
down the sidewalk.
How's the mom?
Yeah.
How was the mom?
The
in
mom
this
was not
moment?
there, thank God.
She would have fucked.
Yeah. My
And
cousin.
there's this
But to be
90-pound
fair-
dog.
To be fair, though, that's why they say like a lot of times kids and them breeds don't mix because
But
they
it's no, but
misunderstand.
this was
It's
not
kids
an
and
att-
all dogs, really, at
Really?
a certain age, especially.
But this was not a little kid. This
You
kid
said-
was at least 10, 11. But
said
it was
kid.
Still a
approach.
child.
Yeah.
It was
Still, the
definitely
question is,
approach.
You
where is
said-
their mother?
Well, it was an open event.
Okay.
You know, and then the kid finally
I guess.
stumbles in the lawn, and the dog is like, huh, this is not the game that I signed up for. So he walks away because
He's like,
we're not playing chase anymore. Meanwhile, this kid has screamed bloody murder like down the sidewalk, and I'm standing there like, get here right now. But
And the
for
dog's
sure,
wondering
this kid
why
is
you're
not,
so upset.
He's not getting a dog. I'm pretty sure this kid
Never
is
in his
never.
life.
My second
never
son
getting a dog.
is deathly afraid of dogs, but he wants a pug.
Oh, pugs are
So
the best
awesome.
dog. Let me
I
talk
had a
about pugs
pug.
for a second.
Yeah. You want to talk about
I had
pugs?
I had a pug.
I'm sorry, I thought we were talking about real dogs.
Oh, wow.
I don't think we should start off on that note.
Salting.
My niece had a pug, just to soften that, who never used to like come to the door. Like it was a split level, so when you come in, there's a landing and there's stairs that go downstairs and stairs that go upstairs.
Too much walking?
My man would just sit on the top of this, like not a tail wag, not like sitting on the top of the stairs looking at you, like, oh, you've arrived.
There's not a dog with more personality. than a
Finally,
pug.
you're here.
Oh,
Yeah.
finally, somebody to feed me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally.
They're so good. You don't have to walk them much. They don't like to walk.
Yeah, he thinks they're the cutest. The pugs are the cutest. But did you have anything else for the recap? Because I can use this to go into the
No,
next
you
break.
can keep going. Yeah.
So on the scroll, this weekend, a pit bull. I guess the owner, something happened with the owner, and the pit bull attacked him and bit him up. Here
In Edmonton?
yeah. And then everybody who came to help, because the owner, it was a female owner actually, sorry, and she was like, help me, he bit me, and she was bleeding like all over her arm, all over.
That's unfortunate.
And then the police came. Then the neighbor came to help. The dog was like, oh, you want to help her? Yeah, I'm this. And he bit that guy.
The neighbor too?
The neighbor. And then the next neighbor came to help him, and he bit him too.
Didn't beat the dog?
So the She said
I know
beat the
that's
dog.
not.
That dog was waiting for those
You
days.
can't. When you get a pit bull in
I
that,
see the dog bite this one and bite that one. I'm going to go jump in with. You have to have a weapon.
no, it's a pit bull. You run.
The greatest part about it
Run.
is
No, I brick.
You disappear.
Something you have to
Something.
come
the
with.
greatest part about it is your story about he was just chased. This is great. And this dog is just like, "Arr!" So they showed the news came out, the police came, and managed to get the dog into the house and left the dog in the house.
So no one could go in the house now.
Nobody could go to that. Well, the owner's in the hospital, and I guess the son is one of the primary caregivers, one of them.
Right.
So they were going to wait for him to come, and while they were waiting, they put the dog back in the house because they had nobody to kind of keep the dog.
They
The
didn't
dog's
sedate
standing at the
dog
window
yet?
like this.
Yeah.
Like muscled up.
The dog's standing at the window like this.
Like, come
And
through,
and
come
the video camera is like right out the window, and the dog's just sitting there like, I wish you would.
Yeah.
I wish somebody else would come in this house.
Yeah, he's ready.
He was
I feel so bad.
upset.
Pit bulls
My-
just get the worst names, and I know.
No, I had a pit bull.
That-
No, I had a pit bull. And his name was Reza. And when he gets
What's
into
his
that,
name?
Reza.
Razor.
We went through
Step eraser.
no, we actually went through a phase in my parents' house where all the dogs were named after some kind of a weapon. So there was like Reza, Spike, all kinds of weird
Nice.
stuff.
Okay.
Bullet.
Thanks to my brother, that's we named all of them. But when Reza got pissed off, don't try to go at him with anything because that's just gonna get him even more riled up. You go
Love it.
go the next direction. Don't even try.
Why would
Nobody
you have
wants
that
your dog
Yeah, why would you
to
have that
have
dog?
his mind change about you
Just
while you're
like,
breeding
oh,
him.
you're petting it, and then
Reza was really
I am
good. Reza was
so
a
sick of you
deterrent.
right now.
That's what the dog.
Like we had to chain that thing when he was younger. We actually chained him to like a welding plant because he was so strong. That's the only thing that could hold him. Oh my gosh! Because he would break everything.
In Guyana, I used to wake up early and feed the dogs all kind of cheese roll and pie tart, and because like the yard dogs eat old food, right? But I know some you don't want stale rice all the time. You want the good stuff. I wake up before
Pie tart.
anybody else. When I say like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, I would just feed them dogs. They're like, "How come when Nikki comes to the yard, the dogs are like, oh, this one's okay." Not even worried about me. I would wake up early every day and feed
So
them.
Razor was in Jamaica?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is Tanya's North American dog would probably get eaten.
Reza would have took him and turned him into a toothpick.
I am not going to comment about island folks' ability to train
Jamaican
dogs.
island folks.
I didn't
Dog.
call no island.
I'm just
I didn't
saying
start
dogs
nothing.
in
Wait,
Jamaica.
wait,
I
wait.
ain't starting nothing.
Wait.
I'm just saying, the Caribbean as a whole, like we don't train dogs really in the like. I grew up with dogs. We always had dogs, and we don't necessarily train them. But like, I've not had a bad experience with a pit bull in
All my monsters
all
were
my
trained.
years.
They were trained specifically to
Not
do
if
that.
they're trying to bite you too, Greg. I'm just saying.
No, they just didn't like people.
All right. So speaking about dogs, if you go on the new Melanistic magazine, it will be online.
It's not online yet, but it will be online tomorrow. Our Patreon subscribers have access to it already.
Right. So if you are a Patreon subscriber, or if you're not, I would highly encourage you to become one. And once you become one, you'll be able to see things that others from the general public can't see, behind the scenes stuff that you'll be able to see, like the dog on the front cover of Melanistic Magazine's adventure issue, which has a person on there with the dog. The dog has found a new owner, and
Lies.
that's
Propaganda.
that's what you see
This
in the
is
picture.
propaganda. This is actual propaganda.
That dog has no loyalty.
I remember that dog.
That dog is not loyal. No, dog. Oh, yeah. No loyalty.
No.
I won't say
You know
who.
who she likes?
I won't say who, but someone cussed that dog out when that picture was taken about traitor and.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
It was me. Yeah, I'll tell you.
You're not gonna mention.
Zero loyalty.
100%. I was like, yo, get that look out of your eyes. This is all love. She's like, ah. I'm like, oh, I can't stand you. Ooh, I can't stand you. While I was taking the picture.
That dog is an amazing dog. The dog pulled me up the hill, so I had less work, and then pulled me down the hill, and then back up. So
many
while we were
times.
hiking,
She slept
she
for
was
3
so
days after
tired.
that.
she was so
Literally.
tired.
Yeah, literally. That was the adventure issue itself was an adventure. Like to produce that issue, we have so many stories.
Oh, do we ever?
So we do have
Like
stories.
so many. Like
So
literally
many.
land, air, and
What was the
sea.
first thing we did?
The first thing we did was the canoeing.
Canoeing.
The canoe
Edmonton
trip.
canoe.
Okay, so the Edmonton
For
canoe
those who
trip.
actually canoed.
Okay.
Who are the people?
Yeah, let's not.
Who
do
are the
that,
people?
no.
I did not canoe, but for who are the people here who went on the canoe trip?
I was there to watch.
The
And
three of
that
you.
went-
Yeah, you weren't. You can't even.
Greg
say
was a
anything.
spectator.
There was no paddle in the tent.
Someone's got to take pictures and make sure everyone's in the right place at the right
This
time.
was the crew right here.
This
Oh,
is
I
the
got
crew.
some great pictures. I got lots of great pictures. Oh, that's their fault.
No.
Microphone. I want to hear you.
you
talk.
will-
I can get a picture.
I got a really wicked video though.
So I hear there was a little bit of.
I feel like I'm gonna set up this story.
You gonna set it up?
I'm gonna set it up because
All right, set
I
it up.
am a orbital participant. So I'm not in the actual what is happening, but I'm out here on the edge and my inability to reply quickly. Like there were a few emergency times that I was very twisting hair and like la before I even realized that there was an emergency happening. So we set up with we're going down the North Saskatchewan River to do this canoe
wait,
trip.
wait. Before we go there, just for our watchers, viewers, and listeners, Melanistic Magazine's version, the volume 3, is about adventures, normal adventures,
Specifically black people doing them.
specifically black people doing these adventures,
Right.
specifically things that are out of our
Repertoire.
repertoire.
Okay.
Sometimes it's out of people's comfort zone. Like a lot of people have heard the
Black people
stereotype
don't.
that black people don't swim, black
Whatever.
people don't
Right.
skydive, black people don't. So this is a version of that where we're showing you this is how to do it. This is how much it costs. Go and have an adventure.
And
Go
also
ahead with
what
your
not to do.
And
Also-
also
Say
what.
what not to do. Let me just.
They
say.
didn't say that, but we hope you learn what not
Okay.
But you'll learn.
Perspective.
You'll learn today. You'll learn today. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
So first, I'm supposed to go and shoot the canoes in my mind going down the North Saskatchewan River. So I've invested in a lens, like a nice telephoto lens that will get the people.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the location from Tanya. She did say where it was, I think, but I didn't exactly know. And
I
then
did call
Nigel
her too,
said,
yeah.
Nigel said, so what, you're just going to show up to the North Saskatchewan and hope that you are where they are? Let Tanya drop a pin
Yeah.
so that at all times on the river, you know where they are and you can just go and meet them.
And Tanya dropped the ball because I showed up at the start point with maybe 20% on my phone
Your
that
phone.
should
Wow.
be dropping the pin.
Right.
So that was the first part of our. So
But
once-
but I heard there was somebody
A
with
pin
their
was
phone.
dropped.
I dropped the pin. I learned how to drop a pin.
She learned how to drop
I,
the
right.
pin.
I
How to-
don't believe in having
during the actual canoe. You
Apple
learned.
stalking people. I don't deal with like the satellite. I don't want you to know where I am.
Right.
That's
this is
fantastic.
just
That's
this-
fair.
So
I like the fact that you feel like because you don't drop pins that they don't know where you are.
in my mind,
Like
I'm not
the fact that you
volunteer-
turn
I'm
on your
not-
phone.
I'm not volunteering.
She wants them to
giving that
work harder
information.
for
They
it.
want you to work. You want
Yeah,
them to
you
work.
have to come
It's
look
not
for
that
me.
hard of
Just
a work.
I
It's a
don't care.
button.
I'm not going to give it to them.
Okay.
They
Fair
have to
enough.
Come look for me.
Fair
So
enough.
I pinned.
Fair enough.
That we got that.
This is
that.
just a basic WhatsApp feature
Yeah.
as well.
I did.
So continue with the.
So I
With
did
the
get a
overlay?
pin drop. By the time I got the pin drop,
Uh-huh.
I definitely like stoops, looked at the time, and continued with what I was doing.
Because this is a group event. It is.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes.
So the next thing that happens is I get a message from Greg saying, "What's Janelle's number? We can't find her." And I look at the time that the message was sent, and it was an hour ago.
So from there, just hold on a second. Let's go back. Now, at the beginning, what happened at the beginning? We know Tanya's phone's at 20%. We also know that I called Tanya at 3, 4 o'clock, and I say, hey, can you drop this pin because we want to do this, blah, blah, blah. So 20%, what happens? You're on the shore.
Okay, so we launch. We're fine.
Yeah.
They don't give us any direction.
It's a river, so it only goes in one direction. I'm just
All
going
right.
to throw
I'm
that
told
out
no
there.
directions were given.
Hold on a minute.
No one asked if we'd done it before.
Okay, so no directions. So you don't know how to paddle. You don't know anything, and nobody said anything.
No.
Is that true?
No. They said there's a
In your
blue
personal
bridge.
opinion,
No,
So,
Actually,
okay,
no,
so
to be
let's
fair-
go back.
To
So
be fair.
at the meeting point,
Go ahead.
they tell us where we're going to go.
Mhm.
They give us whistles, which was
Whistles
quite
are
frankly
fantastic.
pointless. And
We
said
blew
that
the whistle.
If we're
We
in a
blew the
panic,
whistle. We blew it.
Oh, you guys are whistling?
If you're
We
in the
whistle.
middle of a river, I'm not hearing a whistle. They gave us a whistle, but also I'm not concerned about the whistle because I'm assuming we all have cell phones, which is why I didn't drop my pin because I'm trying to preserve my battery in case of an emergency.
Right.
I
And they said once you get here, you will see us waving. When you pass this blue bridge, I need you to move to the right side
Right.
of the river because that's your exit point and you do not want to miss the exit point. I'm just dropping that because that's going to be key to this story later on.
So wait. There was no instruction except
Okay, so basically,
get to the right side
The
once you
blue
get to
up
this
top.
point.
Okay.
Pass the blue bridge and stay on
Go
the
to the
right
right
side.
So
of the
you
river.
heard you heard this?
We heard 2, 3
I just wanna
bridges,
confirm-
and right. That's what we heard.
Yeah.
You
There's
heard
2
what?
bridges, a blue bridge, go to the right. Blue bridge, go to the right. That's how
Blue
That's
bridge
what's
go
stuck.
to the right.
Yeah.
blue bridge, go to the right.
Yeah, the problem is they didn't really give, like, if you were a beginner at paddling, they didn't really give you instructions as to how to paddle. If you're in the back, this is what you do.
That's
If you're in the
important.
front.
Right, and
That's-
that is
that-
very fair because
yeah.
when we set off,
Look at you
so-
guys being, because
Fear.
when I was like, they said they didn't give instructions.
Well,
Daniel was like, they gave instructions. They gave a whole thing of
No, they did
instructions.
not.
my
No,
apology
they
is that
didn't.
when I'm assuming that the basics of maneuvering a canoe
Uh-huh.
is, I know, which was ignorant of me, was that somehow it's universal and they would know how to
paddle.
Universal.
to direct it.
Me
And-
personally, I feel like if you're on the river for 2 hours,
That's another thing.
would
No
try.
one told us we were going to be there for 2 hours. We didn't have snacks.
No
All
snacks.
we had was like
sorry. Before you catch up,
I love that this is the
Let's
priority.
Hold
let's
on,
rewind.
hold on,
This
hold on.
is the
Rewind.
priority.
Wait a minute,
There
wait,
were
wait.
snacks
There were no
procured
snacks.
in the
Okay,
beginning.
I thought
Okay,
there
hold
were
on.
snacks taken or had or enjoyed.
You thought on the canoe trip there'd be snacks?
No, they didn't bring snacks because they didn't know how long it was going to be.
yeah, we didn't
Okay.
know that it was going to be so long. Otherwise,
Right.
I would have packed a whole picnic.
Also,
Look what I
also one more thing. The microphone that you have in your hand is not an accessory for your. Nobody can hear you when you're doing this, and then you put it to your mouth when you're done. You either switch and put the drink hand and put it in there so you can do this with your other hand. Okay, all right, this is going good. All right, so back to you, Tanya. You can go from there, then we'll switch over.
So we launch.
Mhm.
My eldest son is with his buddy, and they've taken ahead. We had another Kayla, who is also a contributor to issue 3.
Yes.
She's there with her big brother,
Keenan.
who
Nice.
also is sort of part of the magazine because his product is part of our drink
He did
menu.
contribute.
Good things to look forward to.
Token naturals, yeah.
Token
so they were
Naturals.
both
Shout out.
They were both down there with us. So they launch. My son launches.
I will
And
say,
they
Keenan
were
and them-
ahead.
Dragon
They were
boat.
on the race.
Dragon boat.
We were
They're
supposed to
out of
race those
there.
guys.
Keenan was training for the Olympics.
I
What
don't
time-
know what
So
hour.
how long
Yeah.
did it take Keenan to
So
finish?
so I was at Laurier Park, and then everyone launched, and I drove down to Dawson's Park,
Mhm.
and I thought, okay, I've got maybe 45 minutes to an hour
Yeah.
and I'm on a conference call, and I kind of look down the river, and I see one of the canoes coming, and I'm like, that can't be the canoe.
Sure it is.
It's
Oh, it
way
sure
too,
was.
Keenan was
way
like,
too
okay,
fast.
we're done. What's next?
So I walk down to the
Yeah.
shoreline, and sure enough, it's Keenan and Kayla
Yeah.
just like
Someone
They
told them it was
paddled
the
like
Amazing Race or
Jaws was
something. I don't
chasing
know.
them. I
Dude,
don't know.
they
what. Yeah.
they were so quick. They actually tried to like paddle upstream just to waste some time.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
So I do want to say
Yeah.
that I guess the first way that I should know that debauchery is afoot is that I'm asking Tanya, what time does it end? And she's like 8. And I asked Greg, and Greg's like, I don't know, I think around 8. And then I message Janelle, and Janelle's like 9. So I already know that Janelle's on a different time schedule.
So I'm going to tell you when, and then I'm going to pass it over for them to give the rest of the story.
If you could hand your mic to.
Yeah.
When you-
So we all set off.
Uh-huh.
And again, to their credit, the issue about not being given directions, the wind was actually
Pretty sure.
Hi.
pretty strong over the river. So what was happening is that if you don't paddle hard enough to the center, the wind would actually catch your canoe and spin you
It's been.
full 180.
You've been in
So
that.
Janelle and Aisha are in a paddle, in one canoe, sorry, and my daughter is in another vessel with my son's friend's big sister or whatever. So I have to make a judgment call. I'm paddling and I notice they're both struggling, both vessels, and they're both spinning. And my daughter's vessel finally rights its way and they're moving forward. And I notice Janelle and Aisha are lagging behind. So for a quick second, I try to go upriver to scream instructions as to which side you need to paddle on to get the boat righted. Meanwhile, I'm seeing my daughter.
Cool. Take off.
She's taking off, and I'm thinking, okay, if I need to be close to someone, I love you guys, but I choose my daughter. So I
Okay.
yell as
Fair
much as
enough.
I
Fair
can,
enough,
and then I write, and I'm like, good luck, and I take off after my daughter. This was
So you
maybe
abandoned them.
this.
Wow.
No, I chose my child.
Friends are for.
Okay.
I chose my child.
I see how you're going to spin this.
And so this was 30 minutes into a potentially 2-hour long paddle.
They're like-
I looked back upon the horizon,
Yeah, and you saw a spinning boat just
and
spinning
I
into
just see
the
a spinning
vortex.
canoe, and that's the last I saw them on the entire route.
But also to be fair, when we talk about like giving instructions, so just so that people don't think that Edmonton Canoe gives instructions, they do give you directions on kind of where you should be on the river, but it's more the if
They're
you've
assuming
never-
you can canoe.
Yeah,
They
they assume
assume
that
you
you can
can
canoe.
canoe, yes.
So honestly, if you've never
So
been
they're
on the
starting
water,
at level 2.
yeah. So yeah,
And
so-
honestly, in high school, did you not do canoeing in high school?
What? What is that?
who canoes in high school?
Oh, it's
Beaumont.
Okay,
It's
Beaumont.
Beaumont.
Okay, Beaumont.
Okay.
Wow, that's great.
Anyway, you guys,
Beaumont.
go ahead with the story.
I love this Beaumont stuff. Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. You guys did do canoeing in high school? We had a whole lake. Okay, guys, sorry.
Okay, Janelle.
Okay.
Okay, so Tanya's yelling at us. I
Oh,
don't
she's
know
yelling.
why
Yeah.
she's yelling.
We're both looking at each other like,
Why
what
is
is
she
she
yelling?
saying? What is
at
she
us?
saying? Why is she yelling?
Because
at
the
us?
wind is blowing. We can't really hear her, but we could hear her.
Yeah.
At this point, which
I'm
are
like,
you?
Why is she yelling at us
Yeah.
like
Which
that
way are
on
you
the river?
facing? Upstream.
We're backwards.
You're backwards?
We're
You guys
backwards.
are all over the
Are you
Which way
spinning
but the
round
right
and round?
way.
We've crashed a couple times.
Into?
Into the banks. And I was like, if we crash one more time, I'm gonna leave this boat here. I will send
Yep.
them a pin to let them know
Where
where,
their
they
boat
can come
is.
get their boat.
Yeah.
Like,
There was a few conversations had on that.
yeah,
canoe.
we were like, let's just leave it. We can go eat.
Yeah.
We can just.
Yeah.
I like
looking at
it.
menus on.
I like it.
We
Abort.
were, we were trying to Google menus.
Did you
Yeah.
try to skip the dish? They have guy that will
We
roll out.
tried. We tried.
Add love to that.
Honestly,
We
yeah.
had no food.
There's a
We
guy that
called a
that guy
friend to
rolls
drop
up,
a
gives you a
bag
skip.
of food.
Well,
He
she
rolls
was like,
up.
call Nilo. Didn't you send the pin to her? And I was like, okay, I'll see if she has snacks.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I do have to say that a bag of popcorn was procured from Tanya's vehicle.
It's true.
And
but it was stale.
It was stale.
Wow. Wow.
Tanya, do you care to defend your vehicle and popcorn?
That bag was sitting in there for.
The bag
No,
of
the
popcorn
bag
is
of
my
popcorn
favorite
was
part.
the car bag of popcorn that had been sitting there. It's my
Yeah.
snack home. So it was open there for at least 2 days.
Okay.
It got a little stale. It got a little stale.
They got some
Inappropriate
stale
snacks.
popcorn.
Days.
They got. Listen, there's no apology coming from me. They got that popcorn. No.
So there was a whole disclaimer before, just in case we thought to judge you about your child was looked at first. So after the popcorn, so you pinned
Yeah.
for
we pin?
snacks.
I don't know. Did we pin you again?
You only pinned me once.
Okay, so
but
we
now
did.
at this point, I haven't spoken to. At this point, Greg is like, they're lost and we don't know where they are.
Well,
And
yeah.
I'm like,
We're on the river.
At that point, I was singing 99 bottles of beer on the
99
wall.
bottles of beer on the wall.
and I'm like, LMFAO.
Well,
Think it's the funniest
to be
thing.
fair, I was a little annoyed at first. And so
Yeah, tell us how you really feel.
Yeah.
No, for real. Honestly, like
No,
when
no.
I was like, Tanya, so where's Janelle and them? Oh, they back up there and they're happy. And so
Yeah.
Wait,
So
wait,
then-
wait, wait,
so
wait,
then-
wait,
We were
wait.
happy.
Hold on a
No,
minute,
no,
Greg.
we were
No.
Hold on a
No.
minute.
Happy.
I have a
We're
question
It's
about your
moving.
happiness.
We're
they in a
moving.
good. They went on the
We're
river in
not
a good
moving.
mood.
Okay, all right. So you're happy.
And so then I messaged Nilo, and Nilo to give me the big the big happy laugh thing, and I'm like,
The crying laugh.
yeah.
face.
And so I was just like, you know what?
Many of them.
As long as we don't have to call the rescue boat, we'll be fine.
Oh, stay
Okay.
tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We had no snacks. Those are the
Zero.
only snacks that we had available to us.
With the popcorn.
It was the stale
Except
popcorn.
for stale popcorn.
Did you see any fish while you were there?
Oh, we had other snacks.
Oh, there was lots of beavers.
Oh yeah, we saw a
There's
couple of beavers.
so many beavers.
Yeah.
Animals.
Really cute. Really
Like it.
cute.
Well, you should have taken them.
Did they swim past you?
route.
Did they swim past you?
taking
Yeah.
the scenic route.
They swam past you?
The beaver's probably like, what the heck is going
There
on
were
here?
so many beavers. I didn't know Edmonton had that many beavers.
Actually.
Oh yeah, it's down there. Sometimes there's warnings, like if you're walking your dog.
Yeah. Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're
Good
not.
to know.
Yeah,
we were pretty
'cause
close
we were
to
pretty
them.
crashing. We were going pretty close. Yeah.
Good to know.
It's not funny. It wasn't. It was kind of scary at the
I
time.
like it.
Like there was a
It's
lot
good.
of them.
Yeah. So I mean, we tried. You know, we had our
At some
moments.
points we tried. At some points
Yeah,
we
yeah.
tried.
We were paddling,
But it was just taking us in circles and doing stuff. So we were.
and then we would take breaks, and then we'd look at menus,
take up pictures.
take pictures.
We talked about if this was we were gonna die.
Yeah.
We
This
tried
is.
to
You
blow
thought
the
it was the
whistle.
end.
Well, oh, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
After we concluded we weren't getting any food dropped to us. Yeah.
We could have died
No
out there.
food
It was
drop.
really hot.
What, at what point, like, what time frame do you feel after getting no food? Did you feel like you'll never eat again? 30 minutes.
We had a really good meal after. Let me tell you.
Did we? What did we eat?
How long? So you thought
Oh,
it would
right.
go from
Yeah, yeah,
7
yeah.
to 9?
No, I thought it was.
Because
I
you did.
didn't
You
know.
did drop
I
a
did
bit.
say 9 because it just seemed like it was taking forever.
Okay.
And I knew
It was
where we
taking
were
forever.
supposed to be. And based on how slow we were going, I was like, oh, I don't think we'll get there till 9.
Or get that there at all, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's lots of wind, you said, but
There was a lot of
it
wind.
wasn't pushing them.
Because it even spun me a few times, and because I'm in my canoe with a minor kid, like he's trying to help, but really he's not. So I was manning
Yeah,
our
yeah,
canoe.
yeah.
So like it really, it at certain points it was a
Difficult.
bit difficult. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. So then you get
I get to the end.
to the end.
And Greg
get off,
asked,
Greg's-
where are they? And I said, they're somewhere up the river. I wasn't terribly panicked because it's a river and the way that rivers work. If
You'll
I
get
haven't
there
seen you,
eventually.
you're likely,
On your way?
yeah, in some condition or the other, but you're going to come past me at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Whether
yeah,
you're
yeah.
sitting at the top of the canoe, if it's flipped and you're hanging behind, you're going to float past at some point. So I'm not necessarily worried. So I go and I juiced my phone up, and I called, and she answered. So I'm
Yeah.
like, yep, they're alive, and they're gonna. And you were pretty perky when I called.
Yeah, I was like, what's
She's like, what's up? We're fine. We're on our way. We're fine.
After all
getting
this
there.
gloom and doom, you just had a
yeah,
perky
we had our
voice.
moments.
we had moments. We were definitely like,
We were up and then we were down and then we were up and then
I
we
want
were
to get off
down.
the
Uppers
boat.
and
Yeah.
downers.
Yeah.
I get it.
Why
I
would
get
we do
it.
that? And,
I
you
get
know,
the
it
river
was
has
definitely
that
a journey.
wave up
Yeah.
and down
Yeah.
motion
Yeah.
for
And that's how
Who
we
told
felt.
us to get on this canoe?
Yeah, why would we do that? This was a bad idea. Why
So, Greg-
would they not plan something more appropriate for black people?
Like,
Oh.
like,
and this
like
is
I don't know, throwing a frisbee around.
My confusion
yes.
with all this
Yes.
is that I sent the invite out, which is why I felt partially responsible. However, I also sent the link out, and I feel like if I describe to an adult a canoe trip, that on some level it should set a baseline for expectations, right?
Right.
But the comment that I received once she was retrieved was, I don't know why we couldn't just play with frisbees.
Which, by the way, is not a normal black event.
Yeah, you go to the
Frisbees.
park and you throw
no,
a frisbee around.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
And you have a barbecue.
It's,
and
it's a
you-
black Edmonton event.
But
not
I'm
black
going to
people.
challenge, but that's the whole point of this. So we're going to stop that line, because the whole point of this issue is to erase the whole notion of
Mhm.
whether or not it's a black event. We did a thing.
A black event.
Nope.
Canoeing is an event.
How many? Hold on a minute. how many events? How many people? Sorry, were there?
10?
Oh, no. Yeah, we had five
vessels.
I think 6 boats. I think. It
Yeah,
was.
so
6
12,
boats.
two
Yeah.
each
6 boats.
Yeah.
The 5 boats that came in before the last boat.
Correct.
Yeah.
How did they feel about
They
the event?
enjoyed it. Everyone.
Yeah, everyone had a good time.
Everyone had.
So
I mean-
5 out of
We
6
didn't have a
dentists
terrible time.
approved this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wouldn't do it again, but
Yeah.
it was fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there was this one point I think where this mountain biker came by the trail when you guys were down at the thing and was like, think I see your friends way back there. They obviously with you guys, right?
Because it's a bright yellow canoe. It's a bright yellow canoe with black
There's
people
not
on
a lot
it.
of black people canoeing.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Black people don't like to go into dangerous situations on a whole.
Right.
But we're here to. This was an activity to kind of show. It was
Yeah,
to
an
show.
experiment.
It was an activity.
Who will survive the Hunger Games? I don't know what kind of.
But the funny
They were
thing about
hungry
it
for
is,
two
like
and a
the
the
half
funny thing about it
hours.
is, you've
Jeez.
never been canoeing,
No.
right?
No.
But you have.
And that was my whole thing with this
And you
issue.
love it.
Okay, I'm gonna address my privilege, right? Because I grew up on an island and grew up very sheltered, and I was fortunate to grow up with a family that were water lovers. So we did all the things related to water. From I went in the swamps with my dad. I canoed as a kid. I sailed. I scuba dived. I was on a swim team. I did all the things water related. And
Yeah.
moving here, was the first time that I heard this, well, black people don't. And my honest belief is that the black people don't stereotype really is a conversation about access. That we weren't exposed to certain things. The pool that I grew up swimming in was in fact a white only pool when my dad was growing up, and I was able to benefit and learned to swim in that exact pool in Trinidad because it was a pool only for the white expats.
Oh.
And so for me now, when I hear this idea of black people don't ski, well, there's not a lot of black people that live in areas where skiing exists. It's
Yeah.
just a conversation about access. Even for me as somebody who grew up sailing, and again, this is being naive, I just assumed that all people who grew up in Trinidad, because it's an island, knew how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
I assumed that because we grew up on an island, we at least once went on the ferry to Tobago, and we had at least one sail trip down the islands. This was my assumption because it was what I was exposed to.
Right.
So it's really a conversation of what we choose to expose ourselves to. And we're fortunate, particularly in Edmonton, where in the summer there's all these outdoor things.
100.
So this experiment, this challenge really was to get our people, our community to say what these things are now accessible to you.
Right.
Take advantage of it. And maybe you like it and maybe you don't.
Yeah, and even with me, like, I also get that from a different angle because
Okay.
my professional background is in adventure travel. So when I was in Japan, I worked for Outdoor Japan magazine. When I moved back to Toronto, I worked for Outpost magazine. And particularly in Japan, when you look at the adventure travel industry, during my 10 years in Japan, I could only tell you about 2 black people that were in Japan in the industry, and it was me and my buddy Dexter. And
Wow.
the funny thing about it, Dexter is also Jamaican, moved to Toronto, ended up in Japan in adventure travel. We're both fairly heavy set. And whenever I would go to his little village where he was at, people would get us confused.
Wow.
Because we all look alike.
We all look alike, right? So people come up to me, talking to me, and I'm like, I'm not Dex. And so it's, and it kind of comes from the access, the stereotypes.
Right.
We don't hike, we don't canoe, we don't kayak, we don't go horseback riding.
It's also a matter of safety too. As we're on the scroll, did you guys see there was a black guy who was out
Almost
hiking
lynched.
with his buddies,
Yeah.
and like a bunch of white guys came and was like trying to literally string the guy up into a tree, and then
Oh, no, I did not.
and then somebody was like
Yeah.
videotaping, so they ended up not doing it. But yeah, and also across the U.S., there's been a series of hangings that they are attributing to suicide. So there is a safety portion of it,
Which is why deliberately we did all our things in numbers and
in a group.
Our I don't want to use I guess it's a caution.
I call
mean,
it
is-
black up.
Yeah, you black
my
up when you do
technical
these things.
term.
Find your cohorts, but I mean, and it's safety across the board
Across
for
the board.
that region. Alberta,
Yeah.
as well as I personally, as much as I love the water, I don't do water things all by myself because I'm in the water. There's always a risk. I have a healthy respect for water as much as I love it. That said, going back to this story, the highlight
Okay.
of
Okay.
this story
Bring it home, Tanya.
is towards the end where we know
Right.
they're safe.
Yes.
They're alive. They
Okay.
have now made it to the end point.
Right.
And for those who were tuned in earlier, you would remember that she said she does recall that they said there would be 2 bridges, a blue bridge, and then you need to be on the what side of the river? The right. Okay, on the,
The
right,
right side.
of the
What
river.
side of the river were you on?
Not
Not the right. The
There
wrong.
was a guy. There was a guy.
Not the right, but the wrong
Yeah.
side.
No,
The
but
wrong
we tried.
side.
Yeah, we tried.
There was a guy riding his bike.
Wait,
Say it
wait,
again.
wait,
what?
wait.
You wait.
How were
we
you
have to
trying?
wait. Describe trying.
Will you blow your whistle?
'Cause
That's the try.
I have a video that says otherwise.
Okay, so we see
Okay.
the blue bridge, and I'm
See
like,
the
oh,
blue bridge.
the blue bridge. We gotta go to the right.
Right.
So we're paddling, but
Yep.
it's taking us and twisting us
It's,
again.
yeah,
With
we were
paddles?
trying. Yep. Yeah.
But
Okay,
it's
yeah,
twisting us
yeah.
around. So we're like, okay, let's just let the water carry us.
Right.
And we'll just
And it was.
guide it.
Just get to the
Get
end.
there.
Yep.
So, for those who know about rivers, the center of the river is where it flows
Strongest.
the fastest.
The fastest. Okay.
They were smacked
I've never known that.
Yep. I didn't know
in the
that either.
middle.
Growing up
They
around
didn't
rivers,
know. How
right?
would you
But
They
know?
were
still, how
smack
would
in
you
the
I wasn't
middle
Googling stuff.
of the river.
In the middle.
And they were trying initially, and then
they're
our
like,
2
"We're
guides, the folks that launched us,
They're like,
who
they're
looked
not gonna
like
make
they
it.
were official Olympic.
No way.
Canoe.
We're skipping the yelling part.
Oh, who was? Yeah.
Oh,
What
was that
happened?
yelling?
Yeah,
Wait,
we
wait,
were.
wait.
yelling.
What happened with the
Yeah.
yelling? What happened?
I was yelling.
We were
What kind
on the
of yelling?
shore saying,
Well,
like,
no.
hey,
well,
we
well,
need to
before.
paddle.
Wait.
Hey, everybody.
Right.
Well,
yeah, we
well-
know. We see you. We're
Well,
trying.
well, we were yelling at different
You were yelling
parts.
back?
No, but
No.
I didn't know why you guys were yelling at us.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. So
That was the spot.
I should point out they were coming down backward. So I was not sure what they were seeing or heading. They were facing upriver.
They're yelling at you.
Yep.
You're hearing them yell.
Yep.
You're not giving them any type of signal to say we've heard you. No
we
thumbs up. No peace
looking at
sign.
each other. No
Wave back.
We were looking
No
at each
yell
other
back.
like, why are they yelling at us?
You're just
We're
looking at each
paddling.
other like,
Coming.
We're trying.
like,
But
we're
they're
trying.
worse.
But
It's the
the
What
thing
do they
is-
want us to do?
No,
They
but
totally weren't. And the folks at launch, the lady says they're gonna miss this spot, and if they miss this drop off,
Money.
well, no,
no,
it's
it's
not
not
even
money,
the
man.
money.
The next launch point from Capilano is Fort Saskatchewan.
It's
Fort
a ways down.
Saskatchewan.
There's no way to get them off the river if we miss this point.
So what happens?
So they launch. The gentleman and the lady launch, and they paddle out to them. But of course, it's a river, so it's not holding them still. They're continuing downriver, and they throw them a rope. I think Aisha is in front, so she grabs the rope, and Janelle is sitting
I'm taking pictures.
On her phone.
One of which is in the
Selfies
magazine.
or
sitting at the back, and by the time they've pretty much harnessed them in, they've now sort of passed the point. So these people are now paddling upriver, dragging.
dragging them.
It's basically dead weight.
But hold
So
on.
you
okay,
weren't-
so number
So wait,
one.
wait. Hold on a second. Wait a second. So they get there. The people get to you. What does the grad say to you?
To hold the rope and
He
don't
said,
let go.
Don't hold the
And
rope.
don't
He
do
said,
anything
hold the
else.
rope. Don't let
That's
go.
what she's doing. He
He
didn't
said,
tell me
don't-
to do
He
anything.
said, don't do anything else. Just
Hold the rope.
You hold the
and
rope.
don't
Don't
let
do
go.
it. Don't let go.
Okay, cool.
And by this time, I'm yelling at Janelle, paddle, paddle.
I can't hear
paddle.
you. I've blocked out everything on the shore.
And you're like, paddle, please. And you're saying,
And I just see them struggling and sweating.
Yeah. It was a
Y'all need some
Because
help.
they're paddling upstream.
Y'all need some help or something?
Yeah.
And they're like, yes.
But you didn't tell us
All you
that.
had to do was ask.
the man
You
said,
should have just asked.
it was there two people.
Why was he yelling at
There
me
was
like
two
that?
people in the other boat,
Yes.
Yeah.
and they were struggling to carry
Because they're
two other people.
So they're paddling
Upstream.
They're paddling upstream.
None of you decided. None of you were like,
He gave
The
us
instruction was
instructions.
hold this and don't let go. That was the instruction he gave us.
So we're already in trouble. We don't
did
want to
he
get
look
more
at the
trouble.
person? He looked at the person he wanted to
Well,
do
he
that.
just
And you were like, well, you ain't talking to me, so that's what's up. So they drag you, the two boats, two canoes, you, them, drag all the way back to shore, upstream, because
Oh,
you
I think
passed.
that's a little dramatic. It wasn't that
was like-
upstream.
It was it was
It was like diagonal.
Yeah.
well they had to do like
It
a
was
really
like kitty kana.
they had to do a really
Yeah,
they had to
yeah,
circle basically because where
No,
they
Exaggeration.
It was
no it was they had to circle because where they caught you guys they couldn't
Okay, that was a
paddle
big-
directly in.
I don't know.
like that.
I don't know what
They're
it's not
professionals.
that upstream means. I don't know what that means.
The
What's
current-
the river in the opposite direction?
A little upstream in the center of a river is enough upstream
Is that-
to
it's
drag dead weight. That's
upstream.
what
And
I'm
on that
So
saying.
you
day-
asked them if they needed help, and they yelled back yes.
They
Did-
Yes.
After they said yes, did you help?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Janelle, Black Baby Jesus is not happy with you right now.
Yeah, how did you help? You
To-
took a deep breath?
towards the end Janelle started
Janelle, up
Towards the
until
end.
she was within speaking distance, had the paddle gently rested
But that's what
and,
across.
and she was on her phone.
Yes, I said, well, why didn't you say so? And then I grabbed the thing and I helped.
Yeah, they didn't say anything.
At shore.
To notice how bad they were struggling because I'm taking pictures.
What were the two people from your point of view, Greg and Sadie, were the two people upset?
No, I
no.
think no, they weren't upset, which I'm grateful for. They changed color because of how exerted, like they left their regular shade and came back bright red, just out of.
It's a lot of effort.
It was a lot of work,
In
but they
fairness,
definitely weren't upset. She made me feel better. She mentioned that I guess a few months prior they did
Happened
have
again.
no, it wasn't the same rescue. They actually had I want to say Coast Guard, but they
Fire.
actually the fire. Yes, they actually had a lady who totally capsized her vessel.
Wow.
And she blew her whistle and she immediately called 911. She didn't even try to call them. And they're standing at the end point and they see the fire
Just-
boat just going upriver, and it
They're
was
like,
to rescue people that were on. So we weren't that bad. This was not we didn't have major vessels.
So the
launched.
consequences of the Fort Saskatchewan, like if they had to go to Fort Saskatchewan, what would be the consequences?
It would have been the fella said it would have been about 3 to 3.5 hours more on the river, or we would have had to like launch fire.
Yep. I
Yeah.
would have went over.
You had to do what?
Either we meet them in Fort Saskatchewan, which takes another 3.5 hours,
Yeah.
or we call fire to come and get them,
Wow.
which is a really good segue.
Adventure
So-
number
nice
two.
you had to do it
Adventure
twice.
number
So it was.
So
So-
went hiking, and then
Oh,
there
we
was
did go
another.
hiking.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we we did.
black
went
people
hiking.
and water.
We went hiking.
I'm saying it.
It was an interesting trip because we were heading out hiking. I just went along for the ride. I didn't really expect to do.
Wait, where did you guys go hiking?
Drayton Valley.
We went to up
We went
in so just
Crescent
south of
Falls?
Nordegg in Crescent Falls.
Yeah. So we went to Crescent Falls. We heard about this wicked waterfall that was out there. And so this issue of the magazine, to be honest, I've been out to lunch the entire issue. So I didn't know what was happening, when it was happening, and who was going. I didn't know. If nobody told me in a meeting, I wasn't paying attention. So on the way there, unfortunately, I got the information that my dad passed on the way there. So it was, are we going to turn around? Are we not going to turn around? So then we had Sunset there. Sunset was my therapy dog the whole time there. She was great. We had fun. We ate. We drove right back. And then that was it.
Yeah.
So that actually is really good because it's a beautiful waterfall, beautiful lakes. You don't see any black people out there at all. If you kind of want to get away and just kind of have a day,
We
there's
saw
a
one.
picnic area. There was one guy with
a
a
group.
team of Asian people
Yeah.
that was there.
Probably the guide.
He was there by himself. And so it was good. And once again, these adventures are adventures that black people don't normally go on. So if it's your first time, it may be challenging, or it could be easy. The hike was great.
The good thing with the Crescent Falls Trail, though, it's a really good beginner trail.
Big.
It's not challenging at all. The only real challenge is to make sure you have the right footwear in case it rains.
Yes.
And the trail gets a little muddy and slippery. But I mean, there's no crazy inclines, no scrambling, except for if you wanted to. What I found out was if you wanted to get to the base of the fall, there's a little chain link thing that you had to like scramble up and down. Which we didn't try, but
I was hobbling that trip, remember?
yeah.
My ankle was like not
Giving out.
recovered yet.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll just strap it up and go. So
Which brings us back to footwear. When you're going on a hike, especially if you're going on an official hike like that, footwear is important. I had the jacket, I had the backpack, I had, everything. And it wasn't a bad day. It wasn't too hot, it wasn't too cool. It was great. There's no rain at all. It was pretty good. But I had Converse sneakers on.
Wow,
Yeah.
smooth.
Good
So I was like,
hiking
I'm going for a
shoes.
walk.
Yeah.
That was like
not
a
even
hike.
like the weather ones.
Yeah,
I
I
can
was-
attest.
I
You
was
need good
just
hiking shoes.
Regular. So I'm wearing these Converse. They're gray like everything else. You'll see them in the magazine. And then, there were stones. That's what you have to do because they're pushing into my rubber
Yeah.
heel. And the stones were there. And after a little bit, I was like, ooh, this was a bad choice. I should have bought boots of some sort. So make sure you have your boots. Make sure you have your rain gear. And the hiking.
Yeah, hiking's for dummies here. Listen, people.
Yeah.
This is the list.
We give you like canoeing for dummies, don't do it.
Don't do it. Just don't do it. Hiking. I'm all for
No.
hiking. I'm a hiker.
No.
I love hiking.
Canoers, don't do it. If you don't, like, if you can't,
If you can't handle wet,
you have to at least be at a level 1 for the Saskatchewan River. I don't know about anybody else. If you're gonna go in a pond or something, do that. But on the river, you need to be a level 2.
Another
Okay.
option is simply to pair up with somebody who has canoed
Tanya.
before.
Call Tanya.
Yeah, call Tanya. Tanya, what's your number?
So
That is a good
I am
option.
not giving my number online, girl. 1-800 call the Trini. Calm me down. Calm me down. No. But no, honestly, I don't want folks to write off experiences. There are ways to do things safely, right?
Yes.
Just like
Yeah.
Nigel's done skydiving. He didn't do it by himself. There's a tandem dive. You can do the same with a canoe. So the next time, had I known that neither one had any experience, what I
neither
would
one of
have
these.
done,
Lisa, you never been either.
we could have literally
I've
shuffled
been
Yeah.
the
in a canoe,
numbers.
but
You've been
a
in a canoe?
long time ago.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I mean, I didn't go on the river because my knees can't handle the canoe anymore.
Okay.
But I do have a ton of experience canoeing from when I managed kids camps.
Okay.
But
Cool,
I mean, my knees would just cry now if I went into one.
Wow.
I was laid back.
Oh, you were. This
I
one
li-
was
I
like sleeping in the
literally
back.
laid all the way back.
That's
but
fantastic.
but no, don't write off the experience. The aim is not to write off experiences. Find someone who has canoed before, and you just pair up with that person because there's at least one person that can do the work. If,
All right.
If things get difficult.
So the recommendation is either A, go to a lake, stick to the rivers and lakes that you're used to.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Do not go chase.
Don't go
chase
chasing
the
the waterfall. Right? So that's one. Or go with somebody experienced so that you could get taught.
No, but
There you
go.
no,
Okay.
but
There you go.
honestly, the experienced part, going with someone that's experienced, works for both, and
Oh,
with
true.
with any activity.
True.
Because even if it's on a lake, you can still get into serious trouble on a lake as much as you can get into a river.
100.
And even with hiking, camping, whatever it is, if you've never done it before, go with someone that at least has done it or has some
Has
experience.
done
in
it at some point.
And
yeah.
we have experience outdoors. We like camping. We like hiking.
We are outdoors.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
you
are.
like
Don't get
camping?
it twisted.
Yeah,
We're
we camp,
outdoorsy.
We camp. We hike.
Just not.
We swim. We do all
Canoeing.
this
You
stuff.
you
Yeah, we
swim,
can
you
swim,
hike, you
yeah.
frisbee, you do all the
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's
like
good.
kite flying,
Kite flying.
floating down the river.
Right,
That's
right.
that's our expertise.
I
Yeah.
like it.
Everything chill,
Yeah.
not canoeing.
Not canoeing. That's exerting.
That's not chill.
Okay.
Unless if we had snacks, it would have been better
Okay.
though.
Yeah,
I would.
Cool.
I'd
if we had
say.
the snacks, we would have been.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think after the hike was the
Float.
float event. Now, what is a float? Because I think everybody pictures in their head a canoe, but even I was like, "What's the float?"
Oh, when you
Is
talk
that-
about float, my mind went to fry bake. So I don't know what you're talking about. Like, when you said
Yeah,
float,
that
I
makes
was
sense.
like,
That makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
so
Yeah. So float. What are we dealing with? What's
so,
a float?
Basically, you're in a big tube. Think of a rubber ducky with a hole in the middle.
Oh, the hole in the middle one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're in a
Yeah,
donut.
you're
You
basically
float in a
sitting
You're
on
like
top
touching
of
the river
Yeah,
with your
you're-
body.
Yeah.
with your body.
and
Yeah.
it's a little
Yeah.
bit dirty.
Yeah, you're-
Let's
And
get
beavers are
that
there.
out
Yeah.
of the.
Okay,
You
go
need
ahead.
to put Vaseline on your skin.
All your
Before
body
you
parts.
go in the
All
water.
of your
Like the
body parts.
petroleum
All
jelly
of
you
it,
you don't know.
recommend.
All of
Okay.
it
Don't know.
needs to grease up.
Yeah.
You need to be greased.
And you need
Floating
to be
for
dressed.
dummies. Listen up.
And you need to be dressed appropriately as well. Like, for any activity that you're doing, like if you're going on the river, jeans and them things and sneakers are probably not a good idea. Just because it's going to get wet.
Is that what you were wearing?
No,
I
not
had
us.
a really
No,
cute
no,
outfit.
no,
I had
no,
like a
no.
hat.
Did you go on the float?
Yeah.
Oh, these ladies.
Oh,
they came prepared.
There's another story.
Oh, they came
Wow.
There's another story.
They had like a little cabana thing going on the river.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
we had drinks, we had the
Music.
music, we
Yeah.
had
We had
snacks.
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 We were prepared.
We came
this
So
time.
you weren't
Oh,
angry this
they
time.
were
It was
chilled.
good.
They were
Yeah.
just like, yeah, we good.
Okay. And then what happened? So once again, you get to the shore.
Yeah.
You get
So-
instructions.
So before
was it more instructions? less
before
instructions?
they got onto the river with the instructions.
Yeah.
So again, the instructor brought up positioning on the river,
Right.
and so me and Tanya immediately burst out laughing, and we're like, "Hey, Janelle, you guys listening?" But,
Yeah.
but we were directing the jokes at the wrong people.
Okay, I
Wow.
think Janelle and I need to start off the story, and then Tanya should
Yeah, most
finish
definitely.
it off.
So we show up looking awfully cute.
Oh, we looked real cute. We looked real cute. Yeah, we were a lot more prepared.
We
this
were
time.
ready. We had our snacks. We had the drinks, lip gloss, everything. We're
Yeah.
shining. We're good. So we
We had all the parts covered.
so we go down on the water. They give us all the instructions. You guys think you're catching jokes, being like, "You guys listening?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're like, "Okay, whatever. We're going in the water." But this time when we get in the water, I'm like, "Okay, let's just stay to the right from the time.
Yeah.
Like, let's just stay
'Cause
on the right
Again,
hand
the exit was on the right.
one time because it's
Yeah.
on the right hand side.
Yeah.
We're laying and we're splashing. I'm video chatting people.
Oh, yeah, we're on
We
FaceTime.
are
It's good times.
Taking
Yeah.
pictures. This is right.
Was it
It's
fun?
more chill. It was a lot
It's
more
so
chill.
good.
Yeah.
What's that?
So it was fun.
Oh,
was so
yeah.
much fun.
Oh, yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
All
Yeah.
of my pace. Yeah.
So if we took that scenario where you had your drinks, you had your food, you
Yeah.
had your music,
Yeah.
you stuck to the right,
Yeah.
put that into
In
a
the
canoe,
canoe?
you'd be okay.
No, because you can't move in the canoe.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
That's the whole thing. There is also
In
a
the-
thing of like one person can't stand up and
Because it's
and everything's
just
so far.
teeter-tottering.
And so no,
It's scary.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the tube, I'm in-
okay,
you
there's
can be
more
in and out of
core
the tube,
strength
you can,
required
yeah,
and
do
stuff
whatever,
like that.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh, that's very interesting.
The light.
It's
I'm
only on
glowing,
you.
aren't I? I know. I'm
I
like,
look down, I'm
at
like,
me shine. What's happening? I'm feeling
All
it.
right, so you're feeling this float. So the float, you're there.
Yeah, we're floating.
And then you go out on the water. You're to the right, so no problems for you
Yeah.
this time.
And then we would like occasionally go into the middle, and then we would just make our way
It
back
would
to the
seem
right.
to flow back.
Yeah.
But
How
then
would you
when
do this?
Saw the it was
It just-
going. But
Just
you
with the
just-
paddles?
Yeah.
They give you
And
one
it-
paddle.
One paddle.
And it
each.
wasn't.
It was nothing. We're good.
It was good.
Yeah.
We're chilling.
We see the green sign.
Now we see the exit.
Okay. So
No,
you
no,
see,
no.
Tanya, take it
No,
away.
no, we see the exit. No, but you jump off.
So there
wait
were
a
two
second.
things.
Wait a
There were
second.
two things.
Wait, you jumped
yeah,
up?
Yeah,
So
you
the
go-
one thing
yeah.
that the lady said is, don't pass the green thing. Something about the green flag.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I
don't
heard.
pass
I
it.
just heard green flag, green flag. So when I see the green flag, I'm like, we gotta get to the green flag.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let these people punk me.
Not again.
Not
Fool me once.
They're not getting jokes on me.
Right.
So
Right.
see the green flag, and I'm like, we gotta get out. But just because it comes around the bend, the river's high.
It's- and it's
moves.
fast now.
All of
It's
a
moving
sudden,
fast.
It pushes us all the way to the left.
Yep. True
Wow.
story. Yep.
So
I'm
we're not gonna make it.
I don't have
Somebody's
my
trying to
life
cheer
jacket.
for us. Oh, we don't have our life jackets on because it didn't look good in the pictures.
Right. It didn't look cute.
wait, what?
Wait,
I am just
hold
going,
on.
so I'm
Wait,
going
wait,
to
wait.
intervene.
I missed
as-
this. Wait,
Oh
what?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
throw
So wait,
this in.
you're not wearing life jackets?
They
Well,
give
I mean,
you.
it's around us, but it's not like we're not.
They don't
strapped
have it
in.
on.
We're not strapped in.
Because it's not cute?
They were taking photos.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
just gonna
like
say,
I said, we know how to swim. We know how
full
to swim.
disclaimer. Full disclaimer. If you are attempting a water activity, as much as I am a strong swimmer, particularly on a river, please keep your life jacket on.
That's
it
good advice.
feels
That's
That's
slow
fine.
while
That's
you're
good
on
advice.
top,
She's
but
right.
the currents that are below, please keep your life jackets on. Like I don't know, maybe angle your cameras better for the selfie, but keep your
No,
please
because
keep
it's
your
like,
life jacket
up
on.
here, and you can't even see the bathing suit and the.
Keep
yeah.
your life jackets on, please.
Children, don't try this at home.
Don't try it
Please
on the
do-
river.
Yeah.
Do not
So-
take off your life jacket for better selfies. Keep it on. Keep it
So
on.
we
Let
see
people know
the
you're
flag.
safe.
We see this
Yeah.
green flag, and we're going to the opposite direction now
And
of
someone's
where the
like
flag
cheering
is.
for us. to
Oh
try
yeah,
to,
the
like,
bystanders are cheering for us
like,
on the side.
Come on, you can do it. You can do it. And
Yeah.
we're trying to paddle, and the paddle's looking like the canoe.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we are in the canoe 2.0.
Yeah.
And we can't.
Wow.
It's not
We're
going.
getting flashbacks.
Yeah. So I'm
Wow.
like, no,
PTSD.
that's it. I can swim. So I jump in the water.
She jumps in
but
the
I'm
water.
not wearing my life jacket.
Not wearing her life
And I've
jacket.
had a little couple cocktails.
All right, how's that making you feel right now? So,
And
what happens?
yeah,
So when the water takes me right underneath, like,
yeah, I thought I lost her.
Like underneath the.
oh yeah,
I was like,
it's
the
strong.
current
It's
I was like,
strong.
oh, it's real deep. And so I had to like have a moment. Like,
Oh.
Janelle,
Wait
this
a
is
minute.
not how you're going down.
You can swim.
Wait.
You got 20 points.
Hold on a moment.
Before.
Hold on a moment.
Oh,
Okay, so hold on, because
yes, this is a true story.
Are we
people.
getting questions in from people?
no, people are just intently listening to this. So you are getting.
Oh
So-
my gosh.
So you are
Some mood
at.
music.
You are now on the river. You've gone underneath the river.
Yeah.
What happens after you go underneath the river?
I have to talk to myself and remind myself I'm a bad bitch that can swim.
Right. And so you
She
get
had to
up.
talk to herself.
And so I'm like, I'm not going to die today.
Yes.
Not
So,
today.
Not today.
Not
Not that day.
today.
Not that day.
Okay.
So my life jacket floats down the river. My shoes float down the river.
My shoes. Those are my shoes.
No, but my shoes were gone too.
Oh.
So you leave
Yeah.
your shoes.
Yeah, yeah.
Your
my
shoes are gone.
My shoes are gone.
This
life
is great.
jacket's gone.
The fact
my
that you
really
were wearing
cute
shoes
hat
is amazing to me
is gone.
as well.
Yeah.
And my snacks.
All the
Oh
stuff.
wow! Snacks for the fishes. The beavers got snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah,
All
for
of it
sure.
floats away. But I managed to just. And I'm out. I did it.
You did it.
Yeah.
I thought I
So
lost her,
so do
though.
you get back into the float or
Oh,
you got
no,
to
no,
shore?
no.
You got to
no.
shore.
All that shit's gone.
No. So I jump out. I see her jump out. I strap on my life jacket. I'm like, I have to save the stuff and I have to save Janelle. I'm going to put my life jacket on.
So what?
This current is strong. So I jump out and Janelle's swimming. She doesn't even look back to see where I am. No, you did it!
Wait,
I
wait.
did.
So you left the float as well?
I jumped out too, yeah.
How many people are in the float?
Oh,
we're in our-
one each. Yeah,
It's
we're
one
in
each,
your
but
own.
they were
Oh,
tethered
Oh,
together.
everybody's in their
Yeah.
own float.
Yeah.
But the floats
So
were
what
attached
happens
to each
to your
other.
float, ma'am?
No, ours were attached to each other. So I jumped out and I started swimming to save the float. I see Janelle fine because she's doesn't look back to see that I'm okay.
She's
I'm
like,
fine.
I gotta save my life.
I did check. I checked.
So I started swimming and I almost didn't make it because I'm trying. The current is so strong.
Yeah.
And I'm carrying these heavy
So a guy
floats now
comes and helps her to get out.
to pull the floats out of the water because I finally made it. Yeah, swimming out.
So I see her jump.
Uh-huh.
I am tethered to two of my picnic.
Yes.
And I think, oh shoot. And she is right. It's kind of bizarre because you bend, as you hit the meander, the current pushes you back out when the end
Where the
point,
flag is.
right where the flag is.
So the
So-
lady said, when you reach the flag, the current's strong.
No, she
No,
doesn't
she
say
didn't
that.
doesn't say that.
There was no one.
full
I was
disclosure
actually
with
caught.
that. No
I was
full
caught
disclosure
off guard.
with
I like it.
So I'm now trying to paddle, kind of like with the canoe. I am now trying to paddle, but I'm trying to drag the two other floats that are also tethered to me.
Uh-huh.
So the river is pulling them down, and it's going faster because there's now three of us tethered as opposed to two. So I get kind of close, and then I notice she bails, and I think, shoot, if she bails, I might have to bail as well because I don't
Right.
want my kids going down river. So I pass my phone and my speaker to my daughter. I'm like, hold these, do not come out. And I jump in the river and I'm now dragging three. But it's the same thing. The current hits me. I'm like, oh, shoot. Like, this is much harder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we were
this is
lucky
a
for the
lot
longest
harder.
time. Yeah.
I think like I almost caught a Charlie horse. I'm like, this is a hard swim to pull these
Yeah.
in.
Wow.
What was funny though, I can laugh now, but at a certain point I was like, oh, it's not as hard to pull. But then I look back and I realized Janelle is dragging my son because he decided at some point
To jump out.
He's like, I'm just gonna come help mom.
Oh, jeez.
So he jumped out too. He had his life jacket on, so there was not a panic, and we were pretty close. But then I see kind of Janelle like lifting him out, and that's how we made the exit point.
But not everybody did.
Not
Not everybody did.
exit point.
Everybody did.
So also on this trip was my teenage son with his two teenage friends
Right.
and the papa of one of the teenage boys.
We're
And
not
they
gonna
took
name
off.
names.
I don't know if I want to name names. Don't name names.
No,
All
no name
right.
call.
So your son.
So
your
there's
teenage
my
friend.
son and boy A, boy B, and Papa.
Right.
There's Papa. So they're all 4 tethered together because I think it's sensible because teenage boys often aren't very smart. So we send them along with the adult.
Grown ass man.
And we get to the end point, and there is no sign of 3 6-foot-plus teenage black boys and Papa on bright blue tubes. And the lady at the end, who seemed unusually panicked by the situation, is walking to the end of the river. And I'm thinking to myself, it could not possibly be that hard to spot 4 black. We were the only black people there. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure we
Absolutely.
definitely
We
Right.
were
were.
approached. People wanted to know what group we were with.
Yeah.
We seemed really cool.
Yeah,
There was
like
those
we were the
people.
only black people there. It could not be that hard to spot 4 6-foot-plus black men on this river. We can't find them. So we wasted maybe a half an hour with them pretending to look upon the shore. And they mentioned, well, there is a rescue boat that can be launched,
But it's going to cost.
but it's going to cost
It's gonna
200.
cost you.
We'll
But
stick a pin
why
at
are
that.
we not?
We'll
just-
stick a pin at that point of
Okay.
the conversation. So we go back to the starting point, and they have now launched the rescue boat.
But we're panicked because we do see an ambulance.
Yes.
There.
At one point while we're
Yeah.
waiting, we hear an ambulance going up. So there is a moment of, oh crap, this may not be going as well as
Right.
we think it would.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I'm hearing over the radio, the rescue boat is communicating with the lady at the start point, and he's saying, well, what time did they go missing? I'm heading down, like, what time did they go missing? Like, he's going down the river, and happily, we found everyone 7 miles past.
They were in Terwilliger.
They
We were
pretty
in Drayton Valley,
Wow.
and they were by Rabbit Hill.
They were pretty
Yeah.
much in Rabbit Hill.
Yeah, we
They
were-
had paddled all the way down.
Yeah, we were in like Leduc,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah,
Past
and they
Yeah,
made it
past
back
Leduc,
to
yeah.
Edmonton, essentially, is
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
And I did have to have a conversation with her because her point was, it's gonna cost $200 to launch the rescue boat. And I said, well, if I told you I didn't have a dime, would you not go get my children? Like, what would be the recourse if I said, I don't have it? You're just gonna let them keep floating? Like,
Floating
what
to
are
where?
When you
the-
registered for the thing,
Right.
do you put your address and phone number and stuff on
I'm
there?
pretty sure
all
we
of
did.
that. You
All
fill out
those
and
things
you
were
fill
there.
Came back
So
to
they're
me 'cause
pretty
I
much
missed the
gonna
part.
just send
They
it to
are
your
going
house.
to find us.
It was my pet peeve on because the missed endpoint and silly teenagers and dad are things I could get over.
And
but
dad.
Yeah, and dad and dad.
Right.
But there's time and place for conversations, and if you're talking about making sure there are 3 teenagers alive and well,
Save, yeah, over
$200 is
$200.
not the conversation that we're about to have. Go get my children.
I think what they're trying to avoid, because this probably happens a lot, you hit the green flag, you're gone, right?
No, they said it hasn't happened since like in a couple.
Well, they
like, at
haven't
least
launched the rescue boat in 2 years.
They haven't
Yeah, in
launched
2
a rescue
years.
boat.
Yeah,
But
they
when
haven't
they
launched to
did
get it.
launch the rescue boat, people probably were upset because they didn't remember or didn't know the $200 when they got it.
But
maybe.
also
No.
for as busy as a business as that is, not that I'm counting their coin,
Right.
but I feel like $200 once every 2 years is not the cost that I'm
It
gonna
was
die.
What? It was
And
20,
to be-
$25
to be
per
fair-
person.
It's $25 for the
Yeah,
float.
And
Yeah.
to be fair, it's not
Oh.
like they're paying the $200.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The
Like
bill
it's
goes to
to
the
whoever
person.
Yeah.
that
To
got
whom.
rescued.
Yeah.
So I think it's no different than if I call an ambulance in the city, eventually they send me that $375 bill.
Yeah,
Right?
Yes.
And when I get the bill, I
you have to pay
figure it out.
You have to
it
figure
just
it out.
was not the time for the conversation. When,
Gotcha.
when I'm hearing an
Okay.
ambulance and my
Scary.
my
I
son
I think the
and-
feedback for them
yeah.
should be just that. Listen, if you pass this point, this is after a certain time we have to send out the boat, and this is the cost, and this is what it is. Not, do you want us to do that?
Right, and that
Like,
was
or
my
should
other
we do that?
upset
Like,
because
what are
they
you
left the
talking about,
call
though?
up to us.
To
Like
us,
we
like,
had to
should we
decide
send
if
them?
we should go save the
Like-
children, which
Yeah.
makes
makes no
sense.
sense.
And at one point, Tanya wasn't around, and she was asking us, "Do you think we should send it? I need someone to give me permission to send it." And Janelle said,
Wow.
"Well, yeah, of course.
Go get- 'cause
What else are you gonna do?"
What was silly is that the longer
Yeah.
we wait,
The
longer the wait, the further the river
and
does
not
not
knowing
stop.
what's going on.
Yeah.
And usually for that kind of stuff, they don't really ask questions or permission. Because I can remember when I managed that kids camp in Algonquin Park, we had a kid get attacked by a bear on an overnight Voyager canoe.
I don't know if I
Wow.
wanted to hear that story.
Well, no.
Well, that's what happens
but-
when you go out in the woods.
Yeah, it happens, right? But I mean, this happened overnight. By the time I got to my office, my phone was lit up. It was the park rangers. They already had sent in helicopters and all kinds of people to go get these kids, because it was like there's no permission needed. We needed to get 20 kids off the park and back to camp. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing. There's no conversation.
And I think, and I said that to her. I said, you know what? Maybe a better model would be if we come at the end point and you're not there, and 15 minutes goes by, the boat is launched regardless, and
Yeah.
you get this $200
And this
bill.
is what you're
Rather than kind of pissing around for 30 minutes and
driving to
they're
go look.
driving
Like,
to,
what are you
like,
gonna do?
how far are we
Yeah.
gonna drive?
Yeah.
It's four black. If they were close by, we would have seen them.
And you and I have
Yeah.
one shoe because we're walking.
One
with
shoe and no snacks.
One shoe between
One
two.
no,
yeah.
one
So-
shoe, no snacks.
So what happens after this happens? Like what happens after they tell you about the $200, what happens?
So, so my son and his buddies make it back to the start point, and I go up to them and I said, well, I need a $200 story to
That's what happened,
explain why you're 7 miles past the end point. Like somebody saw the Loch Ness monster. Somebody fell off, and you paddled for 7 miles
to
to
go
try to rescue them.
them.
For
Yeah.
7
There's
miles.
an alligator chasing
There's
you.
some. Give me a story, and they're like, and Papa says, I told the boys that we must have missed it, but they wouldn't listen. So
But I'm
they
gonna
kept-
take them to for chicken.
But I'm gonna take them to Popeye's Chicken. Is what happened. And I said $200, and she said, well, it's 220 because they also lost 2 of
Oh.
their paddles.
Oh right.
Plus GST on that is what happened. So we paid up. The boys jumped in, and they had an amazing time. I should put that in there. The boys had an absolutely amazing ride. They thought being rescued by the speedboat was the coolest thing ever because that's how teenagers think.
It was fun.
It was
It
fun.
was fun.
It was
just the
absolutely
end.
fun.
I can
My
imagine.
advice for floating 101 people would be not to go in June. The water is too high.
Okay.
And even July. If you're not experienced, yeah, I would say it's more of like a mid-end July, August all day, go ahead. But the water is too high at that time.
Yeah, I would agree because I think definitely when I got off at because I did this a similar float in Pembina,
Yeah.
and Pembina was
That's an easy
smooth.
float.
It
That's
was
really
easy.
But
it
Pembina was closed still at that time. It's just, we're
Right.
getting the same amount of water. So
yeah,
Right.
it definitely
Yeah.
was a bit faster. Being able to get off at the end, and I think the problem the boys had is that rather than floating, they were also paddling. So they hit that end point maybe
so quick.
so fast they didn't
Well, they were
realize
flying.
that.
Because,
They were flying. They were
I
way
was
ahead of
surprised how
us.
far ahead of you guys they were ahead of you guys. Because when I was on the trail,
Right.
I'm like, oh, they're the girls. We're the boys. Oh,
Yeah, they
They
were
were
long
gone.
gone. They were
Long
long
gone.
gone.
They
Yeah.
didn't take any selfies.
Yeah.
They never took selfies.
Take any selfies.
No.
I like it.
no, they were just paddling. They were.
That's hilarious.
It was a fabulous experience.
Yeah. I think the moral of the story for me and floating, canoeing, any of that stuff,
Yeah.
make sure you have your snacks.
Okay.
Snacks.
If you can't swim,
Don't do it.
don't do it. Because you just never know. You might take off your life jacket. for
Don't take
selfies.
off your life jacket should be the moral of this story. Keep your
Well,
life jacket on.
Yeah.
Keep your life
That
jacket
that
on.
is
I think
that's a
snacks is the
huge
biggest
part of
one
this
for me.
story.
Yeah.
Because if you
Snacks.
get stranded,
Yeah.
you need the snacks.
Oh yeah,
It
you
makes it worse with the dehydration and the
Right.
the
Yeah.
heat and stuff. It makes it worse.
Yeah.
So you definitely need to be prepared.
I'm not gonna
Agreed.
dig into
Yeah.
the lake or the river for algae to eat.
Yeah. It's so dirty.
seaweed or
And
whatever.
Vaseline.
It's really
Vaseline.
dirty.
Yes,
Did you
Vaseline.
did you all have Vaseline on?
I did.
Oh, for
Okay,
sure.
all right.
They were
all right.
greased to the nine. I did not.
Greased up.
Yeah, it did not cross my mind. They came out shiny.
Glowing.
Glowing.
Glowing is the word.
So, and then the gentleman that was there, he to this day we have not heard from him.
He got rescued. He's good. He's fine.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
rescued.
No, we've
still kicking it.
communicated about other things.
Okay. He said he was hungry. What did he say?
No, he said, well, thanks for everything. I'm going to take the boys for Popeyes.
Okay.
And then he jumped in his truck and he left for Popeyes.
I guess he felt he didn't do anything.
So
Well-
one of my friends just commented, agreeing with Janelle. There's no event where you don't need snacks.
Thank you. Thank you. Good looking out, people. Good looking out. Thank
No
you.
event. What is the perfect snack for a water trip? I always, for me, I always think about snacks, and I think about, you know what, this is not with the movement, not something I want to drink a lot.
you
It might
definitely
disrupt my
need something
belly. If I
light.
have to jump in the
Right.
water, you know, it might do something. What's the best snack?
It just, you know what? We always love a good trail mix. A good
Yeah.
trail mix. Like
Granola
Not-
was what I was
not
going to
with, like,
lean
the
towards.
Don't
yeah.
get
Right,
like
right,
just
right.
nut. You have to get this tropical fruit from there. Put some cold fresh fruit is always good.
I like
and
that.
it's always
Mm.
yeah. There has to be an adult.
I have
beverage.
to say, though, it was funny because on the canoe, I told my kids to pack snacks.
Yeah.
And my daughter's like you. She does not move without snacks. And
Right.
halfway down, she passed me the bag of chips. And I was like, what else do you have? And in the Caribbean, I don't know if you all know about hops bread.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much like a big, it's like a bun. It's like a, and she pulled out, like, I don't even know where she had it tucked, but she had a Ziploc with
Hop spread?
full hops, like whole buns. And she was eating her buns coming down, just bread and lightly buttered.
It'll make the trip
down the
better.
river.
Like,
It makes
you'll
it better
just
with a
feel
full
better.
full
If
tummy.
you just not full because you don't want to get sick.
Well,
but
it's
just
not. It's
something to-
also an energy. It also has to do with like your energy.
yeah,
So
energy.
like
right.
the canoe trip, because the current was so strong. If you went on there hungry, you would burn out real fast.
Energy.
Because you're burning way too much calories, way too much energy. You're gonna get tired.
That's what
Definitely
happened.
water. I always pack like a Gatorade, like something that keeps electrolytes up. And yeah, I definitely like trail mix is always is a good one. It's not gonna get gross.
On the canoe?
I
Like water, nothing?
I think we had water. I think we had. I
like
I
it.
remember pouring something. I don't know.
I poured something.
So we have water and okay. Water, trail mix, electrolytes,
I mean-
Gatorade,
Watermelon,
Powerade, watermelon's
yeah.
good.
I mean, a good
Gives you a
protein
little-
bar.
Charge your phone.
Good protein bar, nuts. I know you brought cashews, almonds, pecans. I'm allergic to all of those things. He's like, I
Oh,
brought
wow.
snacks. He
Yeah,
brought every
I-
snack I was allergic to.
Yeah,
I was like,
I literally had a
add
bag
fish
of
to
death.
this, please.
I had a bag of death for Nigel. I,
I
didn't
was
know
like,
that.
wow.
Neil was like, put that away. I'm like, oh, what's wrong with it?
Popcorn does everybody good.
Oh,
Like,
popcorn is
popcorn's
always
always
good. My
good.
children would love popcorn.
Yeah.
Okay, so the
Right.
next thing after that was what?
That was the horseback riding and
Horseback
archery.
riding.
The horseback riding.
And archery.
And
I'd
archery.
like to note that they never invited us. They just cut us off after the second time.
I would
They-
like to note also,
we
I
did
was
not get
planning
any
to go
invites.
horseback riding, but then I was forgotten about.
Oh wow!
Wow.
So you put us in the
Who
right
did this? Who did this type of thing?
I don't know why you're swinging the camera this way. I didn't know that. So, okay, to be fair, let me tell you how this went down. When we planned,
How did it go?
I know they went and we didn't get invited.
when this all started, the task was divvied up. I got water activities. So
Yes.
my job was go off and find people to do these things.
Right.
And my daughter, some of you guys that do know, my daughter does horseback riding.
Right.
So it was something that came up and it kind of defaulted, go off and find people
To do
to
this.
do these things.
Yes.
In my defense,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think, because Greg didn't do the other two activities, I didn't
True.
think he was invested
True.
in doing horseback riding.
Right.
He didn't
for
tell you about
these
his.
two,
He didn't about his knees, his boat knees.
who showed up to the last. We had drinks one night, and the specific thing was, we already had enough drama with the first two. What if a horse bites us?
We never said that.
We never said that.
If a horse
Listen,
bites you,
we're
you
2-0.
really have.
They don't like
was
that.
we're
Except we weren't
2-0.
gonna go to another water thing for now.
Okay, so I thought the gripe was we had 2 issues before, they weren't doing a third. I was like, So when we wanted, I had my daughter go. Nilo's daughter came along with her friend, so it was a little different mix. It was like 10 folks. 10.
Yeah, it was
10 of
10,
us?
10 people.
We weren't there, so I don't know why you're looking.
For me, as I said, I didn't pay attention to a lot of the meetings. I don't know why this was a thing, but I didn't pay attention. So I didn't know where the horseback riding was. I didn't know what it. I kept asking questions, but the answers I was getting were accurate. They just weren't registering.
Right.
So, I was like, okay, where's the horseback riding? And I was told, oh, it's in Sherwood Park. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So, what did you say? She's saying that she did not say Sherwood Park at all.
So,
Strathcona County?
Strathcona.
So she said it was Strathcona County, which to me is Sherwood Park. That's where Sherwood Park is.
It was Sherwood Park.
Sherwood Park is in Strathcona. But that's just me. So I said, okay, it's just a stone throw, right?
Right.
Must be just right there. There's lots of acreages right by Anthony Henday, just over there. So I was like, okay, cool. But when I came thinking, all right, 20 minutes, we're good, right there. But it's farther. It's like Atchison. No, not Atchison.
No. It's a Cooking Lake almost.
Cooking Lake.
Yeah.
So it's like
It's a ways.
it's a
Like
little bit of a
40
ways.
minutes
So
from
I'm
my
here on time for a 20-minute drive to Sturgeon County, or Strathcona County, and we ended up there. So Nilo's frustrated because I'm late. I didn't realize that a lot of people are depending on her for waiver forms and stuff like that. So I didn't realize it. And then when I got here, everybody was like, where are you, Neil? Where are you? And her daughter's calling her, where are you? I need to fill out my form, Mom. And she's like,
I
I'm
signed
sorry.
for her. They're like, is there another daughter? I was like, she's almost mine. I can sign this. Like, I totally signed.
And so by the time we got there late, but we were able to do our stuff. And they did not hesitate to
Did they
mention
go-
that we were late. And they did not hesitate to mention. They did not hesitate to mention we'll have to take into your archery time because you're late. So we're like, okay, cool.
Yeah, they fussed a bit, but I was also like, I'm looking around and
We're the only
there's
ones there.
we were the only people there. So I'm
We all you
thinking,
got all day.
If you have to shove this back another 20 minutes, like you got nothing going on, people. Like let's not pretend.
So annoying.
Like why are we whining? Like we were the only people there.
You want
Well,
Let's-
that,
okay,
that we
here's
know
a-
that we know of.
Here
'cause-
is a giggle.
We did see somebody in the
Yeah.
end.
So there are 2 young black girls who were recent hires at this ranch.
A day with you.
And it was hilarious because as we're saddling up, their employees
Yeah.
were walking on the other side as we're waiting for you guys to show up.
Mm.
And they look at their employees and look back at me and say, are those 2 with you as well?
And
This is where you send your daughter
this
to
was
ride?
the this
Wow.
was no.
This is not
oh.
where my daughter rides.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I look at them, I'm like, no, like my people would be showing up in a vehicle,
Yeah.
not
Not
walking
walking.
Not
on the other
teenagers,
side of
yeah.
your ranch.
You mean the 2 people that work for you? You don't know that?
Well,
we
this
did
was
know,
the junior
but
girl.
then
This
at
was the
the
junior
end-
employee that said it, and then the lady that was actually leading the trip was like, "No, that's our staff."
Yeah. So they didn't.
Wow.
That's how few people they had there. That the only other black people, they just assumed we were all in one group.
We're all
They
in one
just-
group.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just, that's because there was no one there. So I don't know what they were fussing about with the archery time and all that stuff.
We had
And,
a great time though. We had a
It
great
was
time.
beautiful.
It was good because we
Wow.
went and I really I'm sad that you all missed out on this because
We didn't
after
get
telling me
invited.
that you like
Yeah.
to go
We'll do
camping
it
and doing
again in
these other
September.
things,
They do these again in September.
so yeah, we went out there. They took us into the forest portion, so we kind of went into a forest, and then we're riding, and next thing you know, a bird flies over and spooks the first horse, who jumps, and then all the horses behind that horse were like, "Huh, huh, what?" And
horse was
then
fine.
I'm not gonna lie. I
the
was in
grown man
back.
behind me yelled out, "Ah!"
Yeah, I was in
That
the
echoed.
back walking
Were
to
you-
get some pictures,
Yeah.
and I hear the scream from the front, and I'm like, oh no, not again. That was the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, oh.
At that point, were you considering like maybe we shouldn't be adventuring like this?
No,
no.
I
Oh,
am
no.
all for
I asked
adventures.
No.
Ask
No,
Greg.
no, I was more like, I guess we're gonna have to just start screening people.
Screening.
Screening
Have
participants.
you done
want
this
level
before? Do you like doing this?
Do you have to
Okay.
sign a waiver or something? Because I heard the scream. It was a loud scream from way in the back. I could hear it.
Yeah.
And I literally thought someone fell off their horse.
Wait, so Greg, what exactly would your screening be? Like what?
You
let's-
can't
let's-
It's- It'd be
I don't
similar.
know.
It'd be
That
similar
you
to a
need
COVID
to
screen. It'd be a 4-question screen.
Yeah, and what's the criteria? Let's hear it.
I haven't thought that far ahead yet, to be honest. But it was just when you hear a grown man screaming that loudly,
Yeah.
and
The
you
pitch.
literally, I thought someone fell off their horse.
No, but also in his defense, because I did hear, you heard the horse stumble first. Like there was a
I did
very
hear that too.
audible stumble.
Which is why I
And
thought
then
someone
you
fell off
heard
the
the
horse.
yell. So I legit looked back, expected to see somebody underneath a hoof.
Yeah.
Like you, and there were a few times in the trail that the horses do, like you do have to trust your animal. You do have to trust your
Yeah.
steed that
Oh,
they,
well,
they are
yeah, they're
fairly
in
sure-footed.
Yeah.
But they definitely do stumble at certain points because the trail was pretty muddy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was a beautiful.
Overall, with your guys' adventure, so what's the last advice? So trust your horse, and
Don't scream.
don't.
No, you're allowed to scream.
No, just don't hurt yourself.
Did you guys have snacks?
That's a good question.
Did we take snacks?
No,
No.
there
Everybody
were
was
no
okay?
snacks. I was
No.
There
very
were no
hungry.
Everybody
snacks.
I was very hungry on the trip, and I was disappointed
Well, see.
Yeah, there were
because
no
there's no
snacks.
Oh
popcorn.
my god.
There's no alcohol either.
You know what? This is a black people thing. It's like, you know, when you tell your mom, oh, we're just going to have a day at the beach and she's going to show up with the pot of pilau because you
Yeah.
can always
Yeah.
have to feed the children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like, we
And the
don't know
goat-
how to, because I invited someone to the beach and they were just like, you're like that. She showed up with a pizza on
The
a
go-to
grill
for a lot of
at
black
the
people on these
beach.
trips is KFC.
That is-
Listen,
It is.
I shop
a
at
go-to
the gas
for a lot of black
I
station.
people.
don't.
I'm
you have to bring
like,
food. You just go
the
get the
food
food.
is
It's
a
tin
big
foil
thing.
wrapped.
I mean, for me, when I go on road trips, my thing is beef jerky.
I don't
Beef
even-
jerky, huh? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
No.
They
we need
cater.
You're not
They
down for the-
cater
food.
their
We
adventures.
You like
we
yours
have
catered.
food. Yeah.
Substance. So
We always
what
have-
would you recommend for
So
a
for our
horseback
beach
riding if
day-
you were going?
Oh, the horseback riding? I probably would have done sandwiches.
Bully beef, corned beef. What would you do? Tuna,
Cheese space sandwich
cheese-
with the coloring
cheese abalone.
inside.
What you get? Cucumber.
I'll take a bully beef sandwich,
Toasted.
please.
No. I'd probably bring my grill. We'd have a picnic after.
Right,
And then
right.
I'd do like paninis.
Oh, paninis.
Keeping it fancy.
Listen, we cater.
They
That's
do.
the thing.
They
That
totally
is the
do,
thing.
which I appreciate. Because I don't. I am not that person. I stop at the gas station. And I'm like, you guys go in and pick what you want. And my kids all come up with about 2 bags of
Chips, jujubes.
chips, whatever,
Lolly.
peach rings, a lolly. Exactly.
yeah.
I throw stuff in the cool. I'm like, "Gup, we're good to go. Because we're only out there for 2-3 hours.
No,
right?
Char-
So-
Charlene's the opposite. Like last time
They
we went
pack.
to the beach last week, we had bully beef sandwiches, we had homemade hard dough bread
Oh.
in packages with spinach
I'm-
dip.
Yo, can we go with her?
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I do.
We had
fruit.
we got a special batter from Newlyweds Foods. Most people think it's like a newlywed place,
Yeah.
but it's actually just a bulk food place.
Okay, what was
And
it?
they give you the batter to put your chicken strips in
Oh, wow.
before you fry them.
Oh.
It's like an amazing batter. So they
Sounds
have
like
it
a lot of work.
pre-mixed and they put it in a box for us.
Right.
So we got that. put some of that, fried it up the day, like in the morning,
Yeah,
fried
and
up
then
a
you
bunch,
Put it in and
put it in your
put it in
Tupperware, and you're
simmer,
good.
Yeah.
When we're planning our outdoor outings, how long do we take to actually make the grocery list? It's not a
Like 5 minutes.
yeah.
So 5
This
minutes,
is-
boom, boom, boom.
It's like, what time are we going?
Mhm.
What meal are we going to want to eat? What kind of meal are we going to want to eat out there?
Mhm.
Based on how much we want to pack. And then, but
Nice.
in the summertime, the box is already packed. We already have a box that has the cups, has now a drink dispenser.
Nice.
Wow.
We have everything already by
Coolers,
the door.
drinks.
Everything,
Everything
the
is in
coolers,
within
once
arm's
we get
reach of the
home,
door.
they're already re-washed and put in the freezer,
Wow.
ready to go. We are
I have
always
my
ready for
cooler.
outdoors.
I have my cooler. I
Mhm.
keep my Gatorade. I keep my water, and I keep like twisted teas. It's usually my my thing.
So what you're
Teas.
telling to
Twisted
what you're
teas.
saying to our viewers is that in packing, you could go with the beef jerky route.
Yes.
Well, before we,
You can
well,
go
with
the snacks from the
7-Eleven.
convenience store route.
I feel like it's a
Well-
couple
well,
hours.
I
Or
will
you can
say-
cater the event, do a 5-minute shopping, and come out with
Yeah.
a feast.
And everybody's happy.
Yeah.
And then you're
Everybody's
likely
happy.
to stay out there longer.
Longer.
Well, I will
True.
say as well too, the snacking that you choose, be very careful with where you're going and what snacks you pick.
Yep.
Because it's a funny sidebar beef jerky story. So, my really good friend from Toronto, I had met her in Banff. She'd gone there, or in Calgary. She went there for a work trip. So I drove down to Calgary, met up with her, and we took the drive along 93 up to Jasper.
Mm-hmm.
And as some of you may know, there are bears and stuff along that route. And we're munching on beef jerky this whole time. And so we drive past this one spot where there was a black bear kind of off to the side. And so she wanted to take a picture.
Yeah.
So I drove further, good distance, pulled over. And I was like, don't get out the car. Just look out the window. Snap your picture. What we didn't know, there was a second black bear.
And you're smelling delicious.
And we smell yummy, like beef jerky. Yeah, we got back in the
And gone.
window up real quick, and we out of there. Like So be careful with where you're going.
You definitely have to be careful. As black people, we watch these memes and videos, and we're like, we would never. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you find out that you can get into
Sometimes you do.
that.
And there you are. And
There you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after that, we had what else did we have on the?
It was,
The adventure trip.
You did skydiving.
You did your skydiving.
Yes, skydiving is something that I did. I'm not going to say too much about it. When you go for your Patreon and you go online, you will see my video of me skydiving. So you'll see it there. But it is a both exhilarating and scary, potentially PTSD moment when you jump out. I am saying that, yeah. I for about a week, it was hard for me to get off the bus and just look off and just come.
Yeah.
There are no triggers. Right now, I'm good. Right now, I could go back, and most people
okay,
can't.
It's exhilarating.
But when I went up, there's some things that you don't normally see or you don't normally go. So when you're going on vacation, the plane rises up slowly and takes off and it's gone. It just climbs 7,000 feet in seconds. Just and then you're up. And then my problem was on the plane, there was a boy there. He had just turned 19, never been on a plane before, and this was his first plane ride plus his first skydiving.
Seems like a poor decision.
Where were the parents?
That's
Where
not-
were the
Parents, he was
Yeah.
19.
He's 19?
He
Well,
left. He
he's-
drove there on his
He
own.
grown.
Okay.
He paid for it on his own. He went there, and his fear filled the entire plane as he shook the whole time. He's like, "Yeah, this is my first flight. I don't know what to do.
accent, though.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do."
He must have lost
Nigel,
a
is
bet.
that his real accent?
Actually, it's pretty close to that. It's pretty close. To That's what he was talking.
He must
I
have
was like,
lost a
"Where
bet
are you
or
from?"
something.
He's like, "I'm from here." I was like, "Okay, cool." So, and he's farm boy,
Oh, right. Okay.
and so he was there. There was another guy there who thought he was Tom Cruise. He came with his own parachute. He had the helmet.
glasses and all that.
Yeah, he was wearing white short sleeve button-up shirt, and khaki shorts. And that's what he came with the backpack ready to.
Right.
He's like, I feel like I should just jump when I get the occasion to jump, and he was overly confident. So as we got up to the top, there's a light that comes on. There's a red light. Then it goes yellow. That tells you can open the door. So I'm sitting there on the plane. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. This is great. The guy in front of me is like, I'm so scared. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like, okay.
Sounds like Scooby-Doo now.
I'm like, calm down. You'll be all right, man. You'll be all right. And I'm telling him, yeah, once you get on there, you jump out, it'll be fine. Right? And I'm fine. The whole time I'm fine. Then the guy who has all his gear, he pulls open the door. It's a sliding plexiglass door. And he pulls it up. Whoop, whoop, and it hits the top loud. Like he pulls it up too hard. Yeah. The pilot, the two tandem guys, all yell at him, yo, man, you better stop that, man. You got to be careful with the door. It broke already. And he's like, oh, sorry. Jolted me. Their yelling jolted me, like, out of my comfort position. I'm like, why are they yelling? Like, and he had almost broken the door. How much force. And then they're like, okay, the green light comes on. That means at any point we are at jumping height. Altitude.
Pause. So is someone strapped to the back of you or the front of you?
Someone is strapped to the back.
Okay.
So he's strapped to the back. I put on my harness.
Right.
Made sure my harness was in correct position.
Yeah.
I thought.
I wish the listeners could see the actions that are going right now with this strapping motion.
Okay, I will.
Strap on.
I will move into. I'll move into a
the
spot.
strapping of the harness.
I don't know if that's the right strap.
I'm hoping we're talking about the correct event.
So I can't get over there. I can't get over there right now with our one camera setup. But anyways, so I'm sitting there. I strap it on my legs. I'm going to the crotchal region for those people who can't see, and I'm sitting there pulling it up, and I get strapped on. The guy behind me, he's from New Zealand, and he has this thick New Zealand accent, long blonde hair. Just I
feel like I'll trust that guy to jump with. I'm just saying.
And he just had a T-shirt.
Yeah. He's done it.
He had a T-shirt, some jean shorts, and he was like, "Yo, man, we're gonna have fun." And I was like, "All right, cool."
He just jumps every day.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this," and I was like, "All right, perfect."
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay." So I'm sitting there, and the first guy. The green light comes. The guy who has all his stuff, he's got the helmet. He gives me the thumbs up, and he jumps out. And it's like a napkin. I've never seen anybody fly out that fast. I literally look like a napkin, like a human being. Just went, and they were gone. I was like, and the guy in front of me turned around, and his eyes were so big in his head. He was so afraid. He's like, "Oh, did you just see what I?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's gonna be okay." And I pat him on the back, and his tandem person, we're sitting on these like gym benches that you have. So he's sliding down the gym bench, and he's gyrating the guy, and the guy is strapped to his butt. While strapped to his butt. So he's
bad
literally...
bad man not doing enough for that thing.
he's literally...
For those that are listening...
Tanya, do you want to break down for us what we're watching?
Essentially...
Yes, dinner and a movie.
Yeah.
I would think would be good.
Yeah.
So he comes out, and he does the thing, and they get to the door, and he looks at me for the last time. And I give him the thumbs up, and he gives me the thumbs out and leans forward, and two people are gone. Like a napkin. It literally looks like a napkin. It's just like gone. So I get up there, and now I realize nobody's going to tap me on my back.
No one's going to thumbs up you.
Nobody's going to thumbs up
but
me.
you're going to feel that pressure behind. Somebody's just going to
So he starts getting, and I'm trying to like go with him so I don't get no pushback, right? I'm trying not to get the pushback. So he's going. We get to the end. I get to the door. They're like, put your feet on the edge of the door, and I put my heels on the edge. So my feet, I have size 13 feet, so the feet are all like hanging out of the end like skis. And so I'm looking down. I'm looking at the thing going, and I got scared, and I said, I can go back with the plane. Like, nobody's going to think I'm a
punk?
Yeah, they
punk.
are. Yeah, they are though.
I said, my family is down there, and they love me, and they won't feel it.
Yeah, but I feel at this
I
point,
would
though,
I would call
Nigel,
you punk.
you're how high up in the sky?
You went
I am
all the way.
7,000 feet up.
You are 7,000 feet
Yeah.
up in the sky.
Up in the sky.
You are strapped to someone who
I'm
pretty much
strapped.
give you a Juve morning early, no wine. That's really what's happened.
Yeah.
Like he has pretty much give you a
he-
heavy wine
He
straight
gave me,
to the
gave
edge
me
of the
heavy wine.
bench.
He took 2 wine.
He bust a wine. He
took,
bust a wine.
He took 2, and I only
shuffled
gave
it
him
to the
1.
edge. At that point, you can't go back and not jump. Like jumping is the only way to regain everything that you have lost.
I feel like it is the only way.
You have to
I gotta
regain
go.
your manhood at that point.
The
Like,
other
there's
voice,
no-
the
you
other
have to
voice in
jump.
my head, and I'm going to wrap up quickly because I'm getting the signal. But the other voice in my head is like, okay, you've come this far, just do it. And the instructions are when they tap you on your shoulder, you cross your arms in front of your chest and just lean
Pray.
forward.
Pray.
Okay? And so he tapped me, and I didn't move. And then he tapped me again, and I did move. And he tapped me the 3rd time, and I put my arms, and I went like this, and he pushed a little bit, and we went out. And we did the first barrel roll, and I looked up, and the plane was there. And when I did the other barrel, the plane was gone. Gone.
You were the napkin.
And it was just me, just us in the air.
would have
He tapped
puked
me again. The second
immediately.
tap means you put out your hands, and he's going to pull out the first little parachute. That stops you from doing this twirl. That little parachute will come out and balance you out
Stable
like
you,
this.
yeah.
And when he did the second one, and we went, we're now gliding, we're falling like this, and I'm just falling 210 kilometers per hour.
Do you feel sick? Like, is it worse than Drop of Doom, or does it feel like a bird?
Yeah, it's like Drop of Doom for minutes, not seconds, but you're just dropping,
Oh, I
and
don't
you're
wanna-
like, and I'm sitting there, and I don't know how to breathe because they're like, just breathe normal. You can't breathe normal when 210 winds are like coming. So my mouth is going. I'm like, and you see it on the video. When you watch the video, you'll see.
Choking, yeah.
You'll see my face. And then the next thing happens is I'm falling. He taps me again. I put my hands back in front. You're supposed to put your hands back crossed. And when I put my hands back crossed, he pulls the first parachute. I thought I had the strap right, but it was
Yeah.
a little too loose
Yeah.
on the inner thigh area.
So
So
what
when the jerk of the thing came, it literally went boom.
I wish people are seeing this. I feel like
You're not doing the story well enough.
And I said,
it's a V-shaped. Was that the noise that went with it? What? Yeah.
right.
The gonads is what's happening. Yeah.
Yep. And R. Kelly song, which I will not sing
Yeah.
or give him any credit for,
Good
came
job.
into my head. And I sailed down very slowly in pain in a circle. He said, "You okay?" I said, "No, it hurts." And he got me down. And then the softest part was the landing. I literally landed on my bum.
Did you cry?
It's just boom. No.
No.
Once I got to the ground, I was like, wow. And I was still shaking, and adrenaline was going. And for 3 days, that adrenaline feeling was in my,
Wow.
there was a lot of adrenaline.
So it wasn't a good adrenaline feeling?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. But then after that, I was like, getting out of my bed, I was like, it's just my bed. So that's it. I really appreciate everyone coming. Going on just quickly on the screen, please watch the different black shows that are on Netflix right now, which are amazing. I watched even, what was the one? The Umbrella Corporation. I watched.
Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella Academy,
Yeah,
thank you.
I binged watched that.
So
one.
I binge watched it.
Yeah.
I watched all of it. That was pretty good. That's a good one to look at. Also, check out. We normally have the documentary to watch, but there's quite a few. There's one about ICE, the immigration one on Netflix. That one kind of shows you how police are the reality of the situation, and it's not positive.
No.
So,
We never thought that
No.
it was going to be, though. Did we?
but they try to portray it, you know, and the guy's like, why would you say that? They're in the car with me. He actually says that on the show, and the guy says it over the phone. So
Oh, Americans.
it's lovely. So there's that one, and that's it. Upcoming this week, we have upcoming Carrie West.
Carrie
Do you have anything to say?
West.
Well, yeah, we've got our virtual fete happening this weekend, starting Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon as well. We have some like Bliss Bland is performing. We've got some DJs.
Bliss. Not finished yet.
Stay tuned for the rest of the week because we have a few announcements of some international artists that are going to be.
Where would they find this tune?
We're going to get on the carwest.ca website. We're going to have information on what's happening. And then also on Facebook, we're going to be talking about some of the artists that are going to be performing this weekend.
For those of you who don't know, Greg is the PR representative for Care West.
Oh, can I then thank you? My son,
Yeah.
Aiden, is so happy that he's the little face of Carrie West. And
Oh.
he's like, he could not be happier. He's representing and telling everybody about it.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
He's
Nice.
a little
Oh, I
celebrity
see
that
doing
way.
autographs and everything. He
He's a
should.
celebrity.
He should.
I like it.
Practically.
Yeah,
He's loving it.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
mean, the face of Carrie West, I mean, that's Sam's brainchild, something she wanted to do for a long time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we're super happy. This year we really wanted to do a lot more with the kids, but
It is what it is. It's COVID.
there's next year.
It's
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
It's
COVID.
COVID.
What
Yeah,
do
it's
you do?
COVID, right? But yeah, no, we we really want to make sure we try and include as much of our Caribbean culture as we can in different people. So
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
yeah, and the kids are a big part of it, huge part of
He
it.
loves it.
So he's going to be jumping up this weekend.
Yes. If anybody missed, DJ Quake had a party this weekend, and they sent me a video of my son.
Whining.
I think you should just go watch.
I think you just have to go watch it. I think you have to watch it.
It's hard to describe.
I
like
didn't
that.
know. I didn't
like
know it
his-
was my son.
I like the 2 years reactions. Like,
I don't know, but shout out to Speedy Glass for giving us a free glass replacement. My son was so entertaining. Like, thank you.
Wow, that's great.
a win.
Yeah, I was
Perks.
like, why? Oh, he's
Celebrity.
fucking shots, and he's dancing with 5 older women. But
Okay, we gotta
Yeah.
watch this after.
anyways,
So,
yeah. Anyways,
That
Job well done, Mom.
I'm going to take credit for it.
That's right.
Yeah.
we also have coming up last week. Shout out to the people who did the black owned market.
Yeah, the bomb.
Black
market.
owned
Yes,
market
that
bomb.
was really good.
It was really good. There was 2,000 people pretty much in the line. We are also, we have the Aphrodisiac Market coming up on August 29th. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be music. There's
It's
going to be
curated,
food.
I heard.
It's curated.
Yeah,
So this
yeah.
specially curated for the vendors and for the people. So you're going to enjoy that. Anything anybody else wants to announce on their thing?
Just want to also just say like the next issue of Melanistic.
Yes.
The digital version's up tomorrow or Thursday, I believe. The hard copy's coming out later this week.
Yes.
It is all about Melanistic Adventures. It does go against like we all had a good laugh and joking tonight, but really and truly at the end of the day, it's black people doesn't apply.
It's not.
It's
not.
not a
It's
thing.
limiting.
You should. Black
Get rid of it.
people should at least try. Just try.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna give them that. Like I will give you guys that.
Yeah.
I won't say black people don't. I can say I don't because I tried it.
I like it.
Yeah.
So
And-
at least black people should try. I encourage that.
Yeah, give it a try. And we have some amazing stories from the Amazing Race Canada with Karen and
Yeah.
Bert
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
that people are
These are
going
some
to
of the
love.
Beautiful
fun.
story. And
It's really good.
Charal gave us 2 fantastic summer drink recipes.
Yeah.
That,
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to Token Natural Bitters and Rig Hand for getting behind that.
And
But
then Kayla, we have Kayla actually represents this awesome group. Go look up Food Justice.
Right.
Is kind of what her passion is, but gardening is one of my other
Mhm,
little
mhm,
things. And we talk about like different options depending on where you live and really keeping healthy foods in our communities. We
Right.
have a spotlight on 2 great local artists,
Yeah.
Fetsum and
Fetsum and
Adrian. and we have
we
a
talked
piece from the Shiloh
Multicultural Center.
Yeah, the Shiloh Multicultural Center. For those of you who don't know, there is a great exhibit at the Royal Alberta Museum, and they're the folks behind it. We are here.
We are here.
We are here.
Yeah.
I am here.
I think it's we are here.
We are here, right? And so there's a lot of really good content, and I guess the takeaway is really that the notion of what we don't do, we really want to turn that around. Do it safely, do it in groups, and have tons of fun this summer. Summer isn't all
Aisha and I
there.
are always out and about.
You guys are. You guys.
Yeah,
you
it
guys
is.
wrote. I have to give you that.
You guys
Like,
can call us
it was
to do
good.
anything. We're
Fantastic.
more than likely going to say yes.
I can't wait to do the winter adventure one.
We don't actually do that though.
I tried snowboarding.
Dun, dun,
I
dun,
did
It has to be
snowboarding.
really nice out.
Black people
Oh,
don't.
man.
I'll be in
Winter.
the chalet.
I could
with
tell
the-
you. I could tell you some stories about my first time snowboarding. Boy,
Oh,
but we'll
yeah.
save that for another episode.
Yeah.
I was black and blue.
Well, we'll see.
We're
We'll
always
see what.
down to
For-
come out.
for
So
fun.
thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, well, for my snowboarding story, I'm sure my Outdoor Japan crew will probably want to chime in on that. 'Cause
Nice.
that was with them.
Well, I want to just briefly just touch on the word for tonight, and the word is very much this. Because we are black people, we have been restricted on the things that we can do, the things that we should be doing, and so we feel that we can't do them. And if we have these reservations, now is the time to put those aside and try a new thing. When you try something new, you can get to the next step, you can get to the next thing. And it is lovely when you are able to try something and succeed at it. And don't be afraid to fail. If you go in there, you're in the canoe, and you pass the checkpoint, there will be a person to come and get you and paddle you all the way back. So don't be afraid to try new things. Thank you very much, and thank you for tuning into this edition of the Black Multiverse Theory Podcast. See ya.
Cheers, y'all.